This is Dying of Exposure presents Two Yoked Bros Vocalist Producer
Love
Challenge,
that name.
Volume 7, Round 1. No Heroes, or whatever the fuck the round was actually titled, presented by Cloth and Pop and Steve of Nerdcore fame. What a mouthful. What a mouthful. Yeah, we're here. Hopefully the stream is sounding all right. I'm gonna fix a couple things while we're still warming up.
While you do that, I'm gonna transition to the Laugon Macham.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Love some chili peppers.
We do some snacking. Well, Josh does some snacking. I don't do shit. Yeah, let's flip over to the Twitch stream.
All right.
And then hopefully everything is working and we can get started here. We're gonna give anyone.
I'm excited for this, Steve. Are you pumped?
Yeah, I am pumped. I have a lot of opinions.
Season again, Steve.
It's so good to be in the VPC again. Truly cruel that we had to wait this much quarantine to do it. I feel like without having to do any of the work of making it happen. Yeah. Like I could, without having to make any of the effort to make it happen, I could have done a VPC continuously through 2020. I could have just done more and more. Josh, your face is so close to this camera.
Sorry, I keep moving forward. My snacks.
Your snacks. Yeah, fucking salads. We have some videos about nerdcore music, I think, somewhere. But yeah, let me make sure that everything's clean on the stream, and then we'll get started. I have no idea how this is gonna sound. Oh, I've got to share my audio with Josh so that you can hear my desktop audio.
Oh, sounds like my audio's out of sync, maybe.
It probably is because we're not doing a direct source from you. You're on a Skype call.
Got it.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen with you, and then I think I can share. Yeah, I can. And so I'm just going to share. I'll share OBS with you, and so you'll be able to hear my audio as well. Let me know if I come in a weird stereo or anything like that.
I lost your audio.
You lost my audio completely?
Oh no, you just stopped talking.
Yeah, no, I just stopped talking. Okay, you can hear me. Good.
Hey, Beaker with the
Beaker
420. Thank you.
With the 420.
Nice.
So we're here. It's VPC. It's time to talk about some of these tracks. I've got a lot of opinions, and we got a lot of tracks to get through. So we're gonna try and get them all done in about 3-ish hours.
Hell yeah.
Go with God on us with this. We're going to listen to the beginnings of the tracks, and then I'm going to hopefully fade that music down. Yay, 8 months. 8 months for Noir Grime. What a bad choice. What a bad choice, Noir Grime.
You could spend that on anything. You could have spent that on the country's best yogurt.
You could have. I'm glad that you didn't, though. I'm glad you spent it on us.
Yeah, I'm going to open a loud bag, so I want to announce what it is real quick.
Yeah.
I got some hot and sweet flavored Korean Cheetos, my local Buhan Korean grocer. Very excited about these. Korean Cheetos are usually very sweet, and I have a sweet tooth. Perfect.
Oh, do I not get to change? Oh, I see my problem. Well, we might have to switch this up a little bit because I can't control the volume on this player. What happens if I maximize? What tragedies happen if I max? Give me volume control.
Oh, just in case anyone didn't see the post, I do want to say that at some point tonight, we're going to play both the original demo version of my song with MC-117 that we submitted like 2 days into the challenge.
Yeah.
That doesn't have all the good stuff on it. And then we're also going to play the extended ending so you can hear like what's on the rest of the tape that stops. Excited about that. We're sticking around for it.
Yeah. Let me just fix this a little bit. Alt. I need the volume control on SoundCloud separately, or else bad things happen.
And Steve, you didn't listen to that, right?
I did not listen to it.
Excellent.
I heeded your words. and I chose not to listen to it.
Appreciate it. You're a good friend.
I tried my very damned bestest.
I knew it'd be tough since it's like a direct link that auto plays.
Yeah, I'm just gonna click on that at the end, and then we're just gonna find out. There we go. Okay.
I also found out Munch Bites exist. Munch is like the best candy bar ever. It's like savory peanut brittle. Got a bag of them. They're super good.
All right, so we're gonna just start it off right here at the top. Sort you out with
Hell yeah.
0.5 Quartet. Vincent EL and Artemis. Who are these jokers? I don't know who these people are. So we're gonna play, and hopefully everything will work out for us. We're gonna play it from the beginning because I was already.
This one goes out to my man Robert Galbraith. Thornton gang, we're the worst.
If I can sort you in, then I can sort you out. You couldn't thwart all the things that I've thought about. How did Lord Voldemort fight support the crowds? See, you thought to be naughty in the naughty house. If I can sort you in, then I can sort you out. You couldn't thwart all the things that I've thought about. How did Lord Voldemort find support the crowds? See, you thought to be naughty in the naughty house. I set the wheels in motion, I sense you real emotion and send you reeling into the field I've chosen. Perchance evil potions, deeds of deep revulsion. I'll achieve my goals as long as I meet the quotient. I'm not even coaching, just picking the teams and filling Slytherin with all of the shittiest tweens. These kids will be in smithereens and no one intervenes. My little scheme tickles me till I split at the seams. And Dumbledore,
Shittiest
do you think that dum-dum just stumbled through the door? Or got that gig on like being careless?
Well, apparently I don't have the option. If we're gonna talk over it, I gotta just kill it.
I can hear you.
Can you hear me just fine over the audio? Everyone, are the people in the stream able to hear me? That's what's more important. And Josh. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. This is as quiet as it will let me get. Quiet as. Yeah. This track, what do you got for it, Josh? What do you got?
Okay, now it's very difficult to hear you actually over it.
Okay, that's what I thought. So what we're just gonna do is we're just gonna mute it.
Yeah, we've heard it all for sure.
We've all heard it all. I'm fine with that. Just giving a taste and then talking about our thoughts on it. So yeah, what do you got for this, Josh? We're always gonna start with you because then I make sure you actually can talk. And I don't just take it over because I'll talk forever.
So this was my template. This is one that I went through and like, what do I want to say about this one that I want to say about all the tracks? And I'm sort of using this one. So this one I wrote out, but all the other ones I'm just going to use the format and sort of go through the things I want to talk about. So first off, I love the way this turns the biggest plot hole in the Potter universe premise and shows it as the parallel to essentialism that it is.
Yeah.
Like, I never would have put that together. Not in a million fucking years. Like, the biggest flaw in her IP is also the biggest error in her personal beliefs. And this is the first time I've heard that pointed out.
Yep.
Which is pretty great. Fleshing that out into the Sorting Hat being the villain was a stroke of brilliance, I think. I mean, that's the kind of third verse you dream about writing for a song that's already damn good.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah, that one, the first time I listened, I think I gave it was like a 6 or an 8. And by the 5th listen, it was a 10 for me. That was the most improved from first to subsequent listens.
Yeah, subsequent listens. It's definitely got a lot of depth. I don't have a lot of notes for this. All of my notes are going to be mostly around song arrangement and how you could take a track and do some real quick, simple things to just make it better. Because not everybody has like Cloth and Pop's production knowledge or like an understanding of composition or has gone to music school. And so giving them a lot of things like, okay, you're going to want to EQ. And
to be fair, I failed out of my first year of music school.
As you should have. I've heard your music. We'll hear more of it now. Your track was great. We'll get there. But yeah, a lot of people just don't have that theory. And a lot of song problems are rooted in mix and EQ and like decisions, but a lot of them are just rooted in decisions and how you craft the song. just like what the song does, because there's too many. There's a lot of variables. We've seen a ton of songs that have garbage audio quality, blow the fuck up. Terrible production, blows up. And
Sure.
it's because there's other things that go into factor. So that's mostly what I focused on, because I didn't hear it from people smarter than me telling people like I didn't hear it from any of that.
I'm with you there.
So, do I even have yes, I do.
I've got a couple things. If you
So go back to your notes, and I'll
Okay.
I'll
So one thing I want to do with each of the rounds is I want to give my favorite line of the vocals, and if I had to pick one line to cut from the vocals, which one I'd cut. And then sort of the same thing for production, my favorite production moment and my production pet peeve for the track.
All right.
I'm going to try and come up with something for every track so it feels like even and fair. So my favorite line is my favorite vocal thing is the melody behind the hook, because it's so sneakily catchy and it's like infectious. It's so good, and it's mostly a rap hook. It goes together really well. A lot of times rapping and singing by the same person just sounds like, nails and forks hitting together. And this was great.
We completely disagree about that, but no, we'll get there.
That's funny. I think the line that I would cut is, hold on, I got it pulled up. Dumbledore, did you think that Dum just stumbled through the door?
You didn't like that
Which-
line?
I don't like that line. I think calling Dumbledore a dum-dum is not clever wordplay, but I think virtually every other line of this song is
Would you
pretty
say
brilliant.
that if they just removed the dum-dum and they're like, Dumbledore, you think he stumbled through the door? Would that have been alone?
There's a personal issue that I have where you like stumble, like you split up the rhythm of a word to like rhyme a multi with it, but the rhythm of it doesn't rhyme, and you're using it where the rhythm of the rhyme would go. Like if that was a in the middle of the line, like Dumbledore don't stumble and tumble no more or something.
Yeah.
But
Or if they
more
used it
rhythmically,
to
not that it's a good line.
change the rhythm and the flow on the following line, so that it's like warming you up for a change up. I definitely can hear that.
Or if the through the was another umble, stumble Dumbledore, I don't know. Stumble under more.
What's your production up?
I would say I would assume it's a mix issue, but until this last listen, I didn't realize what a dope sample chop there was under there, because Vincent's rapping was so distractingly good. So I would say I don't know, figure out how to highlight that a little bit more, because it's sick, and I feel like this would feel like an Army of the Pharaohs beat if it was a little hotter.
Yeah, 100%.
But that sample chop is fucking sick, and the mix overall sounds great.
The mix does overall sound great. I really like the core beat. I think the problem here is that Vince and Arda came up with a lot of rudimentary. My only notes for this is they came up with such a good foundation for what this sounds like that they lack as much evolution as I want in the instrumentation underneath the vocals, especially with theatrical vocals, which these aren't quite like musical vocals, but they are very dramatically delivered, and so I like the core of the beat. I love so much of the foundation of how this grooves, but in the second verse, I would have liked to seen an interesting choice would be kind of to take the beatboxing or some wide kicks and really empty out the beat, so that it was just basically kick, space, snare with almost nothing melodically, or something very thin melodically for your standard 4/8 bar measure, and then go there.
Project Zero has pointed out this is going to be a sick 9-hour stream.
Yeah, I know, right? We can't go that long, so we're gonna go as far. Trust me, worse songs, I'll have less to say about them. But sure. This was good. It was.
I got one last thing when we're ready.
My score. Last thing I'll say: 8 out of 10. Absolutely, 8. Honestly, a 9 out of 10. Would have liked a little bit more play in the instrumentation, but that's my only real note. Structurally, it's perfect. It's chorus, verse, chorus, verse, chorus on a 3-minute song with a chorus that grooves as well as that. There's nothing you need to like change or cut in that way.
Yeah.
All right,
one
Josh.
sneaky thing that Vincent did that I thought was really rad was how they sort of just kind of flex and oscillate back and forth between like a more American English accent and received pronunciation, like non-erotic, so that in certain places they can do different like bent rhymes. And so in the hook, they can rhyme like thought with sort, like that thought about and sort it out.
Yeah.
It's like that only rhymes in RP. And it's dope that they were able to, in a way that doesn't feel like Dick Van Dyke not being able to hold an accent.
Yeah.
Like in a way that's very intentional, just kind of slipping in and out as they want to.
Exactly.
That was cool.
It was very comfortable, but like truly a tragic track to open the competition with because
It's a high bar.
yeah, the bar is so high. All right, we're gonna flip to the next song. This will be garbage. It's One Up Funk. We all hate One Up Funk. They don't know. They don't know what's up. No.
Roll that beautiful bean footage, Steve.
Yep.
This little living computer game system is BMO. My information doesn't seem to say if they're a he or a she, just BMO. Oh well.
Who wants to play video games?
Yo, those background vocals there, though.
Yeah, right.
Oh, you
God, so sick. So this is like fake, like this vibe, totally fake. Feels like washed out.
Usually confusely misgendered as a dude, you see. Oops a daisy, seems he's a she. Snoozily approves being believed to be a summary of the male, female, and dissociative identity. A tendency is rendering me mentally free to achieve my dreams and schemes and to be the sidekick I'm meant to be. Shit sent from me directly behind a human centipede, extensively entering blind on some adventure time.
That drop is so good.
All right, we'll fade it out here.
Yeah.
You know what their chorus sounds like.
I love when it kicks up to that like other level of the bass line, like syncopating on the offbeats. It's just like soars over, I don't even know, like some fucking what's that? Fly like an eagle. That shit.
We didn't play
Sick.
it here. I want to mention it before I forget. If you've heard this song or want to listen to this song, nerdcorevpc.com. These are all on round one on the playlist. But also after the third or second verse or second chorus, there's like a little lead riff thing that's just beautiful. That absolutely the lead into the last hook.
Yeah, that shit.
Everything just transitions. So
gorge.
One Up Funk. You talk about One Up Funk. Talk about them.
Yeah, One Up Funk is this like funk. I think of them as like the white Canadian Chromeo. They just got a big room full of synths and instruments, and they just like seem to dance around it, making hilarious videos and great funky music. It's good shit. With this song, all right, my favorites and least favorites. Okay, so my production pet peeve is, and this has happened in the VPC before. It happens a lot because of the challenge that often comes up where you have to sample like the universe or something. Someone will drop a sample of iconic music or sound from an IP, and it's like, oh shit, they're gonna flip the fuck out of this, and then it just turns into something else, and it's like, god damn it. And it's like, I don't know, it's like sample chop blue balls, not that blue balls exists.
Sample chop blue balls. Yeah,
it happens a lot. It got me hyped to hear an Adventure Time sample chop, and I didn't get that.
Eventually, I mean, like that's always going to happen in a fandom round. because producers are always going to be looking for something different that isn't like the first thought that they had on a track. But as an audience member, when I listen to a track, I'm like, just give me the sauce. Just give me the delicious, just sweet, delicious fandom sauce. You don't need to. I mean, we do that on our tracks straight up, and but straight up where we don't give the obvious sample at all. But yeah. What did you like lyrically?
Lyrically, that hook is infectious. Those background vocals coming into the hook are so fantastic. Just gorgeous. Super catchy. I want to sing that all day long. I think if I had to swap stuff out, I think the opening, that whole first stanza trying to introduce BMO's gender is handled a little clumsily. Nouning pronouns, saying a he, a she, and especially if someone is a she, saying he's a she, that, also a line that ends in she is preceded by one that begins with she. So it sounds like said he's a she, which was a little confusing. I don't know. I feel like it could have been done a little bit better. It feels a bit like kind of reciting the wiki in rhyming couplets.
Yeah, a little bit.
That was pretty much my only thing with the vocals that I wasn't into, though.
So vocally, on an overall tone, because I have no notes for the production. I love the production. I love every beat One Up Funk introduces is just a gift in my mind. But vocally, so I simultaneously love the tone of Bobby's voice here, and think it's wrong for this hook. Not on the hook. Sorry, the verse tone of Bobby's voice wrong in relation to the hook. And I get it, it's character rap and everything. I think, and I wrote this down, I refer to them as serifs, which is by adding a little bit of like stank to the end of syllables and stuff, really kind of over enunciating kind of the corners of words. And I think I wrote down specifically, basically put some more Snoop swagger on the voice. And I know Bobby can do that. I've heard him do it in other One Up Funk songs. So I kind of think, even though
his rap has a little bit of Snoop swagger in it.
Yeah. So I think because this is such a groove, because this is such a head roll jam, I think that would have felt more natural.
I didn't think of that.
Yeah,
I was just thinking like vaporwave.
Yeah,
totally
and
right.
So I think that would have done it. But I also understand the choice that it's like if you're rapping as BMO, that's not BMO's voice at all. So you have to kind of balance those.
Steez.
Yeah, it's not their steez. So that's my big vocal note. And then production wise, and then we'll have you continue production wise. I said that I really wanted on the back half of the second verse for the beat to drop and to clip the drums really short, and or for the beat to either drop out or drop the melody parts, clip the drums really short, and that's related to how it intertangles with his flow. This is going to be a note for me for almost every song, and it's something that happens in VPC.
You want to hear that juggle back and forth?
Yeah, that
real tight.
Yeah, just those
real dry
drums where you're dry and you're cutting the edges of them, so there's just no reverb. They almost don't finish. Like they're just right at the millisecond that they need to be the complete drum noise. And then space between them. And I think it's because I like how that percussion interplay. This is going to be a note on a lot of the tracks, and it's because the VPC is 3 weeks rounds. I wish that more producers would have more time to listen to the vocalist and then move their drums around and do shit percussion-wise and beat-wise that plays with the front. That's so hard to do.
It's so hard to hear
in a
through to that when you're so deep inside of a mix.
Yeah, exactly. And being like
the battle.
Just coming back to listening to it, and it's like, oh, it would have been really cool if I did kind of like a wind up before every kick in this particular 4-bar, just because of how it sounds with the vocalist, or how it could have sound with that. And that's such a thing where normally you'd put a track down for a couple weeks, then come listen to it and see what you need it from a third person perspective, which you can't do in the
Even
VPC.
just the mix. Jeremy saved our mix. in like the 11th hour, there was like one bass riff sound in a break that I wanted to clean up, and Jeremy was like, "Could we turn the vocals up like 10%?" I was like, "Wow, really? Well,
Yeah.
let's hear it." And I did, and it was all of a sudden like,
Yep.
whoa.
Yeah, it's just the third party, and it's
I just
this is
couldn't
also
hear it.
on Vocalist too, because the producers will usually send you roughs. So Vocalist, if you hear something and you don't know how to explain it, just kind of
100%.
go dig for examples, or just simply be like, you know how on this verse I'm rapping like this with this cadence. Can you empty it out? Around me a little bit, and
Yeah.
it may
Talk
not
it
be
out.
exactly what you think, but discuss it. Let them play. Most producers will play with that stuff, but like Josh said, they're in the mix at the time. They're just trying to get the song listenable and balanced,
perspective's
which is hard
invaluable.
enough. And so,
All right, Two Cannons.
what did you score this?
Wait, I don't
by the
remember
way,
this one by
Josh?
title. I honestly don't remember what my scores were. For
I gave this
next
one.
series.
I gave this one another 8 out of 10. That's 2 8 out of 10s in a row.
I'm not sure I've honestly decided and clicked on 80% of this yet.
I'm me in this. So I have several 8 out of 10s and like a couple 9 out of 10s and one 10 out of 10, and then I gave myself a 7 out of 10, which I still
I had,
think
like,
is rounding
3 or
up.
4 10s.
And then a lot of people got 7s, 6s, 5s, 3s, 4s. Because I'm a mean person. All right, let's get into Two Cannons.
I don't remember this one by name. Looking at it, I'm not.
All right.
Oh yeah, 4 and 14.
I'm almost tempted to play this whole thing simply because it's only 2 minutes. But we'll probably peel it off.
Long intro is a choice in a competition, in a song competition. People are going to be listening to the song.
Your intros cannot cross 30 seconds. I'm just saying, in the VPC.
I love like a theatrical presentation of a song, but
Yeah.
when you're
In the
listening to
VPC,
song,
no.
it's tough.
Plus, this part is so
Oh.
cool. It could have just introed with this.
Oh yeah, the movie dialogue with this underneath. I guess wherever there is any music.
Armageddon, be ready when karma beckons. This class is now in session. You need to learn your lesson. This queen is not from heaven, but divine. In my confessions, this connection of rejections has led to my transgression. You think you have control over how my life would go? You thought I would rot in your exiled onslaught. You think I'd be
is this
controlled
YouTube
by
Nerdcore?
such vile
I don't
souls?
know.
You thought you got the villain. I think not. Enter my Leviathan. Will you export deep within?
You able to vocal chop stand?
Don't be shy, just let me in. Come and let me taste your sin. Oh, little creatures, you are all of my possessions. Unfortunately, your savior will have to witness this lesson.
So yeah, that was Two Cannons in memoriam of Flotsam and Jetsam.
Can I just say that
yeah,
the
you
name
go.
Two Cannons instantly makes me think of that Two Princes cover because I pulled up. That shit was so iconic.
Yeah, right.
Seeing that made me hope that it was going to be a reference, but it wasn't.
This one goes out to my
It's always
Uh-oh.
gonna go back to the top of the playlist. Don't worry
It
about
is.
But nonetheless, that's so Two Cannons.
Yeah. Rapper
Thoughts?
came hard on this one.
Mhm.
It could have been improved. It felt like it was a new verse. Didn't feel
Yeah.
like they had time to sit with it and sort of like get comfy with it while recording. It felt well wrapped, but maybe like they were reading it while they were recording it,
Yeah.
which I know happens a lot in VPC. Sometimes you get a chance to retake, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you got a chance to memorize, sometimes you don't, you know?
Yep.
You can always memorize like a line at a time and just give a word on either end if you want to get like a more live sound. But yeah, it was a good verse. The production, that vocal chop was dope. I would have liked to hear some more complementary stuff, like some harmonic elements, some things building up, playing with the notes that were chopped from the sample, especially on the hook. Just having that one line was a little sparse. Even if you wanted to feel real down, you know, you can put a pad in there or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are pretty much all my thoughts on this one.
My big thoughts on this one were the hook or break or whatever you want to call it with the big vocal sample. I think that the vocalist should have just retaken that and just sang it so that it could be out front. In my mind, you lead that because it's like I can't even understand what exactly the words are that vocal sample is doing in the chorus / song break. But in my mind, it's not saying this, but it sounds like Poor Unfortunate Souls. And it's just kind of squeezed around to get it to work in the beat. But having someone like lean in and be like, and you'd have to have the vocalist do it, just really powerfully just like deliver that line, then having that mixed up and then fade down when their other lines come in. So it's like so that they can continue on the note from the last word, and that can kind of bury into the background as the other lines are. That would be something you could do that would be very cool. But either way, I felt like the audio from the vocal sample needed to come up in the mix a lot more, because like that's the break from the rapping. That's the break from the rapping.
That's good.
Yeah, and I think that if it had really been nailed, it would have been cool. It would have been just it would have added to the level of the delivery on the verse. Like you said, it was red, but it was still very strong. Like I think it was a pretty good song.
It wasn't a bad song at all.
Hard cut the beat before the last two lines. It kind of fades out, and you should just hard cut it and let those last two lines stand on their own. But yeah, just an overall good feel. That's literally just like cut the beat and then let them deliver those last two lines, give them the vocal production, give them the room, basically give them that verb, and then let it carry off, and that ends the thing. Maybe add a wicked cackle at the end. Maybe don't. That's a little cheesy.
Two other things I wanted to say about the vocal chops. That opening hella reminds me of that old Melody Sheep Alice in Wonderland track, which is like fucking iconic. But also one thing that's really cool to do with melodic vocal chops is you just like put auto-tune on and track all the pitches for it, and you just go look through and you can see what all the notes are and like figure out, you can chop any syllables and just like make fucking chords out of them. You know? You just like find each of the notes that you want to use, load them up in a sampler in like Reason or something. There's some cool shit you can do if you want to try to really kind of break it down and not have to think about like what are the chords behind this song that I would try to accompany. You know, you can turn it into elements to make your own chords. It's something to think about.
But yeah, I scored this a 7 out of 10. I think with very little work, it could be a real solid delivery. I'd probably shorten that intro a bit, like we were talking, maybe lay the talking samples over the melodic kind of lead in, and then, you know, trim off a little bit of the end on the beat and do some better mixing on the vocal break with the singing lines, and you're golden. You're 100. You go from a 7 out of 10 to like a 9 out of 10. Honestly, like something I'm just gonna hit on repeat.
I just voted to 6.
All right. Let's move to Anti-Hero. E.
Who are you?
Let's just say that I'm a ghost coming back to haunt your dear brother.
Wesker?
Do you know who Albert Wesker is in Resident Evil?
No, because I know he's bad or good. I don't know.
I love how active and like
I know these noises
not
of the dead are not the voices
like
in my
stagnant
head.
with the hi-hats.
You stay stressed till they all get laid to rest. HBT, the violence virus, I'm the monster making bets. No solace siren, silent tyrant, celebrate with death. You are alone, floundering in my control. You won't be making it home, losing your soul. This mission is more than I've shown. I lead you off on your own. Use you for comment data with no one to save ya. My experiments will chase your waste, your taste, your flavor. Every day, humans come one step closer to self-destruction. In many ways, I'm here to save them. They cannot see that the puppets, and I alone, the master, might control the world I'm after. Global dominance with power, all evolved to bastards. Put a string to the chains, things make them bleed. I don't think that they see what I've done with it. Put a string to the jeans, with the fiends make them bleed. I don't think that they see what I've done to me.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we'll fade it out right there. I needed it to get to that part. Because I love that fucking part of that track. Josh, thoughts? Klopp, what are your master Galaxy Brain level production musician thoughts on this?
That hook is a little difficult to listen to.
Hard disagree, but go on.
I think it's an ADHD thing. Like they sound bored about it, and also it's like there's not any compression on the vocals.
No,
so
that's true.
I'm missing like every 2 or 3 syllables. So it's like the strings and the jeans and the fiends and I'm bleed and I'm like, I don't know what's happening, but it's gonna happen 4 more times and it's gonna sound the same and not be any more coherent. And that's difficult for me to know is coming. That's the main takeaway I have from the hook. I'm sorry if that's difficult to hear.
I mean, it doesn't hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
I didn't make this track. I have plenty of criticisms for this track. For me, that I actually wanted that part, that hook that they get to, which again, I can't call it a hook because they don't return exactly to it.
Oh, really?
Later in the song, they diverge and I think they simplify it, which you might like more. But for me, that's the best part of the song. It absolutely needs compression. It absolutely needs to be cleaned up. But I just love the me. I like I love quadrupulous vocals. And so if you put a bunch of vocal layers on stuff, I'm in on it. One
note I would add to that, if you're gonna do vocal layers, try to switch up how your voice sounds in it. If you just sing the same thing 3 times the exact same way, it'll almost sound like there's something like weird and digital off about it.
Yeah.
And like it's like fake duplicated, which is weird because it's not. But try doing like I don't know,
maybe it was though. Maybe it was fake duplicated.
Different tones of voice, qualities of voice within your range.
But yeah, that was definitely my favorite part. It was which I like that we disagree on. Warm ups to the beat should have been half as long. The drop in the first verse is too long.
It's a dope intro. It's a beat worth showing off, but like it is a BPC. People are listening to 40 fucking songs.
Yeah. The snare and the bass feel thinner than I want.
Yeah, that's fair. I love the tone of the hi-hat. I love when people take like an analog drum machine hi-hat that usually has real crispy hats and tone it down so it sounds like a Super Nintendo like sword shink. I love that. And they did that, and they like switched up the hat on this. One thing I would say, I totally forgot what I was going to say. I think that was the thing that I wanted to say about it. The rapping, it sounds like the vocalist had an idea of like the vibe they wanted the delivery to have, but weren't actively like engaging emotionally with the content of the lyrics as they delivered it, which is tough. So the emotion of it started to fall a little flat about halfway through the verse, I think.
And on the second verse, after coming in from their chorus, essentially on the second verse, they have this big long just instrumental part with no rapping, and again, competition. We don't have time to dally. Also, they don't do shit in it. Like, it's very empty. And so like it'd be one thing if there was like scratching or instrumentation or even like, but it's such a like, it's honestly, it's a boring part of the song in a song that's already feeling kind of stretched out for different reasons throughout it, and you're just like, all right. And so yeah, this definitely didn't speak to me, and especially after like, it's unfair because after the first 3 tracks in the playlist, this is noticeably less gripping, and that's tough. That's tough.
Damn, we're 4 tracks deep, Steve.
Yep, it's fine. This will only take 3 hours, I promise.
Hey, it's Shane's track next.
It is Shane's track next. I got words to say, and I see the Shane's in the chat, and I don't know if Shane's gonna like him, but we're gonna find out.
This is Space Seed from Brackets.
Space Seed. Brackets.
Name? Khan Noonien Singh.
From 1992 through 1996, absolute ruler of more than a quarter of your world. The last of the tyrants to be overthrown.
I must confess, gentlemen, I've always held a sneaking admiration for this one.
Gentlemen, this romanticism about a ruthless dictator is...
But Spock, we humans have a streak of barbarism.
Sample too long. Competition. 41 tracks. Stop it.
Woke up, knife to the doc's throat. No fucks, others might have lost hope. But I'm a product of the best of the 90s. And I got the best of the best behind me. A descendant of the remnants of the great clans. I like the brave man who can make plans and take stands. A depraved band with snake hands won't make it very far in these great lands. Great lands in need of a new make of a man. That's me, you can check your fucking brain scans. Before I burn your stuff into a wasteland, I will learn enough to turn your luck quicker than fate can. 10 times your strength and my mind's intense. End of the line, bent to the vine, grew into wine. I spent a lifetime, then I went on to take whatever it is that is mine by divine intent. That's everything. That time is bent in my favor. You were not meant to understand my behavior. My awful capers from the past will make me an awesome savior for your own sins and perversions. History repeats itself.
Just simply have to stop.
Yeah, we gotta figure that out. Too hot.
All right.
Bro,
so
if I had found that song in like 2003, on like a Freestyle Fellowship album, I would have lost my fucking brain.
Yep.
That shit is 100% up my alley. That's the weird kind of dank hip hop shit I love. That sample was a little long. I'm not sure.
I need to respond to the comments on this. I'm not. Well, I mean, it's a fine sample, but like I'm going to the comment that Celine makes, which cutting the sample at any point or trimming it down would have weakened the sort of narrative of the sample. However, that's fine. Put that on the regular EP track. People are listening to 40 tracks.
Not having
intro,
any context for the sample, I had a hard time getting a narrative intro for it.
I'm just gonna tell you.
I thought it's a dope sample though.
Yeah, it is.
Really
it's great.
Sample.
I love Star Trek, right? I'm always going to be here for Star Trek, but I'm gonna tell you this right now.
I have Star Trek records that I'm going to sample for songs. I feel this.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you right now. First listen, second listen, third listen, average listener, myself included. I want to hear what the song is, and I need that to take less than 30 seconds. You can go 20. You could even go 25, especially how you came in off the sample, where you're just like, bam, I'm rapping. Like the sample was all the warm-up. I'm just talking about figuring that out. You can put the sample later in the song when you've already convinced me that it's worthwhile to listen to, but nobody has time. Not a lot of people have time for 30-some-odd second samples when they're scrolling through a playlist of songs they're listening.
I just want to be clear. I don't think the sample's too long. I'm not sure it's effective at doing whatever it was supposed to do, but I think it sounds dope as the intro of this track for sure.
I think it'd be great.
I don't know what I'm
to
supposed
intro
to
an album too. What else you got?
Yeah.
Gosh.
That's about all I got. That beat fucking knocks. Those drums are dope. Those best drums of the round, hands down. That snare, that garbage can. Oh, god damn it! Give me all of that. Give me a big old glass of that shit.
My only real note for this is when dealing with when working with an MC like Messiah, like Shane.
Also, Shane sounds great. I forgot to say that.
When working with someone that's so comfortable about moving around the beat and being real loose with it, being real loose with it. It is one of the things that producers often miss is that almost any kind of melodic loop has the rhythms that the loop is playing in as well, and you don't want that to counteract against the kind of, because like the drums, like you said, the percussion choices in this are perfect, but like there's that kind of noisy kind of warning like alarming loop behind it as well. No, not the high pitched not the high pitched one, the one that's a bit more of like a mid tenor like almost groan that's coming in, and it's got a particular way that it comes in when it loops around. And sometimes because Shane is so good at like that kind of like relaxed rapping, Messiah's got such comfort there that comes at the wrong time on his cadence at that moment. You can't fix that without spending hours on it. I don't expect anyone to do it. I'm just letting you know, when you're doing those, especially when you're grabbing stuff and they have sort of the rhythm that they play in and that works for your drums, it may not work for what the MC lays on top of your drums, even if what they've done also works, right? Like also works with the drums. So listening for things, that's how you polish something to just feel so fully considered. But yeah, that's my only thought here. This is another 8 out of 10. So like, it honestly didn't hurt the track that much for me. The intro didn't hurt the track that much for me. Star Trek preference, and I of course love Messiah Carey. I think he's one of the best rappers.
Also an 8 for me.
Yeah,
strong 8, almost a 9. If there was more switch ups in the beat, I think it might have been a 9.
Oh yeah,
like juggling around Shane's vocals.
Yeah,
I love that shit.
Yeah,
but
again,
strong 8. This song's great. I'm gonna listen to this one.
It's
again.
so much to ask a producer to be like, yeah, you want to take like fucking a week and spend some time every day to like perfect this on a fucking VPC challenge.
Yeah, that's so one of the other things I like about Jeremy is Jeremy will absolutely tell me like where to put a break. Like, I'd love to highlight this line. I'll be like, fuck yeah, that's a great idea.
It's done. I don't have to think
I forgot to think about that.
Good work. All right, let's get into the next one. Broken Pixels.
Allah. Oh, Attack on Titan.
Broken Pixels, you can play? Yes? No? No? There it is.
I am salvation, the future of humanity. Ever since creation, I'm maneuvering for your freedom. I'm the suture for your sanity. I'm the one you need when your dreams succumb to gravity. Liquefying homicide by open wide. Roping to keep hope alive. Oversized, immortalized. Patricide, pacified. Dopamine rush, more potent than the Dovahkiin. No mercy, I kill my enemies by any means. Welcome to the game. Everybody is the same, but I shift and I'm different. I go berserk and go to work like a doctor. Leave them looking awkward and kick them like it's soccer. I'ma keep them humble before they start to rumble. The Titan shinny gum, hands blam like a minigun. There's so many gone, I ain't taking shit from anyone. There's so many wrongs, I'm the storm before the calm. Giving hypersonic arms to open-handed comic palms. They beating all day, so I ain't gonna stop till every one of them is dead. They beating up all, they beating all day, so I ain't gonna stop till every one of them is dead. They beating up all, they beating all day, so I ain't gonna stop till every one of them is dead. They beating up all, they beating all day, so I ain't gonna stop till every one of them is dead. My people been hurt and getting fat from preserves. Heaven sent the devil been saved the last for dessert. Fortified, horrified, everybody's sure to die because of.
All right, Broken Pixels.
Yeah.
What do you
think?
It's
a cool song. I feel like I've heard Nomad's name before. I don't know if I've heard songs they've done, but it feels familiar.
Yeah, it does.
Reminds me.
Getting a little shutter on Josh. We're gonna find out if that's something continuous, or if that's maybe me. Maybe it's me.
Good, but also I feel like it could use a rewrite because it does sound like he's saying they beaten off a lot.
Josh, you were completely edited out of that whole last thing because it just stuttered from your side. So you were just froze frame for that entire bit of feedback, except for rewrite because it sounds like they're saying beating off a lot.
Oh, you missed all the hedging.
Yeah.
Before I got to that part.
Yeah. I am gonna come in with this one. I like this chorus, but again, lyrically, it doesn't hit. And then also when you're doing like I'm just gonna say the same thing for every 2 lines over for 8, or for 4, times 4, or or times 2. Think about just changing up the melody on the last one, just a little bit. Just like come up, maybe jump an octave. Something. Just throw it in there, mix it up a little bit. If you're using the same phrase each time, mix it up a little bit on the singing. I think the song was all right. It just didn't do a lot for me.
Yeah, it was a 6. It was up there with
that's what I got it as.
Not 2 princes. What is it?
2 cannons.
2 cannons. Thank you.
I like 2 cannons a little bit more, but that's because if you put dramatics in, I'm always going to love it.
Sure.
Also, I think the singing on the final singy verse is kind of nice, but they need to trim back the backing track a little bit to kind of like match it, because the drums were kind of a little too big for what was being delivered vocally.
Yeah, the mix was a little difficult to hear through on the beat. Like, it's a good beat. I couldn't tell you anything specific about it. I don't really remember it much. I remember it was good.
Give me a moment. You want to take a snack break, Josh, so that you can talk to the camera? Vamp, basically, while I let my cat out of my office.
We're vamping. Damn. Y'all see these jumbo cereals they put out? I got giant ass Apple Jacks. They're like, I don't know. They're like the size of, well, not quite mini donuts, but like halfway there from regular Applejack. But out of context, they just look like Applejacks. Like, I'm like, are Applejacks not always this big? I don't know. I have a hard time feeling this jumbo, but Kristen was like, these are enormous. Either way, I haven't had Applejacks in like 20 years. They're good as shit. Hit me in the chat if you got any Applejacks recipes other than Rice Krispie treats.
Yep.
I know hot buttered Cheerios are good. I bet that would be really good with Applejacks, like a apple cider glaze. Could be good.
All right, we're back. I'm gonna let my cat out. My dog will stop barking every time it sees the shadow of my cat. It's the
Gunstar song.
Is it the Gunstar song? Is that what this is? Okay. Let's
do this.
Do you have feelings before we even get into it? You already got feelings on this?
This hook is so fucking good. Gunstar Heroes.
It's so sad. It's so sad.
Heroes is, but I'm here.
It's a great game. It's a great video game.
The character is Jim Star Yellow in the sun.
Shot or free shot, I'll pull you out of that tight spot. What I've got is skills to pay the bills, never much for that time count.
I agree, Celine.
Does more than enough to keep our planet safe. Of course, I'm sure that's what they said about Gunstars 1 through 8 in the Game Boy Advance. I got my second chance. The third eye is semi-charmed. We got superpowers and loaded arms, so we're bringing harm to the Empire.
The third eye is semi-charmed. Drop that right.
Very good lyric.
That haywire. Doc Brown runs the weapons, and I run the jewels. And by jewels, I mean gems, so please don't be confused. I assist red and blue through each map and each level. I'm in the details, guess that makes me the devil. I'm the pilot, call me the captain. Feel the party under control until it happens. We sneak up behind you, zap then everything goes dark with the track, and I'm back into navigating. My heartbeat is palpitating. That start button could start something, but you don't want nothing. We are the future. We are the super. So raise your glass. Here's to the blast, Gunstar Heroes. We are the cavalry. We are the primary. So place your bets. We are what's left, Gunstar Heroes.
All right, pausing it there.
Oh.
All right.
God.
Talk to me, Josh. What am I going to disagree with you about this time?
I don't know. I think one of the things that makes the hook such sweet release is what a barrage of just sensory input that verse is.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot going on and it's coming at you fast and it doesn't stop until the hook. But then like everything stops. I don't know. The beat's kind of cool. I feel like I could use a chord here or there.
Yep.
It's just got the one harmonic element of the which is cool. And then some other stuff going in like a one, but there's nothing really holding out like a chord or interplaying with that like bass tonic. It would be cool to hear some harmonizations going on to really give a sense of progression through the verse. Movement.
Truly, the chorus is the only. Okay. Some of the lyrics and the chorus are the only thing I like about this song. And when I say
it's
the
not
chorus,
an unredeemable song or anything.
When I say the chorus, I mean the vocal chorus. It is fully. I'm gonna blame the producer here. The producer fully lets this entire song down. It's a dance beat through the whole thing, which becomes real boring when you get into that second verse and the second.
It's almost like Goa.
Yeah,
like Acid House or something.
Yeah.
I think I heard the producer on this might be the youngest producer in the VPC.
And maybe, this is early on and they're just figuring it out. When somebody sings a
17
chorus
years old. Whoa.
Like that, when somebody sings a chorus like that, you have to find chords to put behind them. That chorus is big and epic and it needs a melody backing so badly because it would be like, there are so many things. And it's like, I'm not saying that if you are 17, you're not a bad producer. You're an inexperienced producer. If you were 37, I would stop listening to anything you made. I'm just saying. So you really got to mix up your drums. You really got to consider what tone the rapper is coming in with. You've really got to do something more supportive through the whole thing. And that also goes for the verse. Celine mentioned it in chat. Lyrically, I'm big on like stay on target. And I feel like sometimes they just fell off target. But again, if they're young and inexperienced, that's going to happen. Happens to a lot of rappers. I'm real judgy of that kind of stuff.
I don't know about the vocalist. I don't know anything about the vocalist.
But I think production wise, just sit with somebody and let them work with you, and then maybe show you how to like lay chords, like show you what the process is for taking a vocal singing line and then uploading it somewhere so you can find the key, and then you can kind of mess with some chords behind it and everything. Just give it something. Yeah.
I'm excited hearing that they are, young, potentially inexperienced. I'm excited to hear how they grow through the VPC.
Oh yeah,
I know it's like boot camp. It'll push you.
Oh yeah.
Should we hit the next one?
Yeah.
Valentine Detective Agency.
Cyberpunk
2077.
Absolutely.
Bandit, I know. Synthblad, I don't think I know. Help me. Who is Nick Valentine in Fallout?
Fallout 4, the detective, the synth detective.
Noir Grimes says to tell you that they're unfollowing.
I want you to come to my office in Diamond City. Give me all the details.
Cool baseline.
Diamond City, you find them sitting, shining pretty. When crimes are fishy, he's diving in and he's finding history. Kinda shifty, you're hiding shitty, I'll find it quickly. I'm tired of quizzing, I'm firing quickly, you fried and crispy. Harriet Tubman, I'm helping out with the railroad. Carrying something my trunk could fill up like J-Lo. Angered the gunman, you're making nothing but stale dough. Managed to touch my thumb, you go to jail, bro. The Institute are just picking people to flicker through. They quick remove and replace them, basically switch.
This is so cool.
They taking ages, they sending agents to pray for you. They breaking rules, this is blatant fragrance, I make him lose. Rock bottom heads, it's too drastic sober, I'm henny slipping. Blue cotton shades, cute fabrics woven, you jelly perfect. Too many seconds to overloading with deadly sippings. You got some work, then just pass it over to Eric Pippins.
I don't want to set the world on fire.
Let the beat come back in and then we can play.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that was fucking Oh.
Good to keep going.
Be your companion from dead zone to far.
All right.
I know. We had to end.
Such
we
a
had
disappointment.
Yeah, they almost got there later, like just after they needed to get there with the one like real screwed version of it. And I'm like, you were so close to figuring out how to blend those and come in really fun after that break.
So disappointing. Like if they just let that whole sample play and then just back into it, would have fucking whipped. It's like that did not work together when they tried to bring the elements back in under the sample.
Nope. So
like just chop the samples, just I to I to I to I.
Yeah,
whatever.
That's what I was expecting, honestly.
Yeah, this dude could rap though.
This dude
cool.
can spit.
This sounds like some like early grime stuff when they're rapping over garage beats and shit. It's got a cool like D&B vibe.
Any thoughts production wise or any?
Those are my thoughts. This is a dope garage like donk bass line. I love like fucking every day put a donk on it.
I can't judge it properly because to make, in my mind, to have the soundscape that Fallout provides you and to make a Fallout track and not use that soundscape,
that's fair,
is really hard for me to get past. I think it's fine.
Fallout, so that makes it easier.
I think it's fine, but that era of music that they lift radio-wise is absolutely, it screams for hip-hop remakes, for beats. And to just sort of kind of have it in there, and then have your standard like Nick quotes throughout.
That's a good point. If they had flipped that for this beat, this would have been like 10 times doper.
Yeah, like even if you did something like they do, where they have this real like driving this driving beat, and then but through it they have just like vocal cuts and hits from Set the World on Fire kind of worked inside of it. Ooh, that would have been dope. But like because they failed so much on that one, it like it made it so it was impossible for me to judge it, except on like the third, fourth listen. And then I gave it a 5 out of 10.
Such a like narratively important part of the song, because other than that one part, literally that one part, it's a pretty dope song. Like a 7 out of 10 for me.
Yeah,
without that part.
But like for me, it's a 5 out of 10, almost a 4 out of 10, just simply because I'm like, you literally left a bunch of gold. The entire Fallout soundtrack series. Yeah, you've left all that. But yeah. And so I think 5.
Red is green Dappersaurus. And Hobbs, 2 ton 21.
This one blew
2
me
tons
out.
in the chat.
2 ton. This one blew me out of the water, and I'm excited to hear it again.
Like third day.
Everybody calls me Red, but my favorite.
The bass line on this.
Hit me with the red, I hit you with the deal. It's a cousin thing. I just don't ask questions about the art smuggling. Pull the surprises like Groupon to get you the prices like Groupon. Prove the way I wheel and deal. Which one's for real? I'm dropping clues. Might have more than one OG in stock if I'm in the mood. Swell, you want that statue? Hit me with some bells, then relax. Check the mail tomorrow. I'll get back at you. Yo, I brought them deals. I'm saying, y'all, it's quite a steal. Cop that piece if it's got you feeling feels. It don't matter if it's fake or if it's real, cuz I got them deals. I'm saying, y'all, it's quite a steal. Cop that piece if it's got you feeling feels. It don't matter if it's fake or if it's real, cuz come a long way since the days of selling furniture. Now the title is...
All right, yeah. Josh, what do you think?
Initial reactions, I was very disappointed this was not a Red Green song about the Red Green show. Although, that said, I don't know if Red Green has, in modern times, become some problematic shit heel. So
probably.
It probably is.
Almost definitely. Almost certainly.
What is this about? It's something I didn't know. Animal Crossing, that's right.
Yeah. Red is a art dealer that you get a bunch of forgeries from, but sometimes he has the real thing, and there's a whole system for that. So only the real ones can go in your museum. It's basically Red is Animal Crossing's White Collar, send up. I think they'd agree.
Yes.
Yeah, so it was
cool
great.
Vibe.
You think about that production. What do you think about that bass line? Or could you hear the bass line through the internet feed?
Yeah, the production's all right. I mean, it's a cool beat. I feel like they could have done more with it. It was a cool chop when it opens up, but then it I don't know. It doesn't feel like it progresses a ton throughout the song.
No, it does. In the third verse, like toward the end, I think they add a piano layer to it, which I feel is pretty good, but it's mixed a little loud. But
add layers, pulling away layers is one thing. Like, give me a bridge, give me like a B section in the verse that's different from the hook. Like different chords. Feels like we've moved somewhere.
Yeah. That doesn't really happen until really the third or until the last chorus, if I recall correctly. But I might be a little wrong there.
Just as a production critique, like that can really bring out a verse. That can really make a long verse feel like it turns on a certain moment and can really make the difference in a song. So
the third verse does drop into a totally different feel. 2-Ton, I agree. I think maybe just do a change up in the second, or do something in the front half, back half of the first verse.
Yeah, like throughout the
I
want every verse to feel like we've gone somewhere from the beginning to the end of the verse that has gotten us from where we started.
I agree. I like this track a lot. I have been so hard VPC after VPC on Ann Hobbs. I have told them to stop rapping. I have told them that they are that their defense of their loose rapping sounds pretentious and false, and I think that it's just a skill thing. Over the years, I have been very anti Ann Hobbs. Last VPC 2 Young Bros, they had more tracks that I liked. This, as their first round, this is one of the 2 9 out of 10s I gave, because they hit me where I wanted it. That bass line could carry me for a long time. Their comfort in the flow, their feeling. There was a lot of I don't know what it was, but there was a lot of Word Burglar vibe in that song. It wasn't quite as punchliney, and Word Burglar's a bit more locked in on the beat. What?
I didn't catch that.
Yeah. And so, but yeah, I fucking if you go and you listen to Word Burglar's whatever happened to your friend's brother, there's a lot of parallels there.
Okay.
But again, not with the punchlines and the stuff that Word Burglar kind of locks in on, just sort of like a vibe. But nonetheless, I love this. It's my favorite. It's my favorite Dappersaurus song so far. So this one really spoke to me, and I even have notes. Just when I think I'm gonna get bored, they do something. But I didn't start getting bored till the second hook, and so I didn't start having that worry until after after the second hook. And they did things.
I do have a hard time with Ann Hobbs' delivery on this. A couple specific things.
Yeah.
I think on one level, it feels like he's rapping from the back of his mouth. It doesn't feel like his chest is part of what's vibrating when he's rapping.
Mm-hmm.
Which can be the vibe, but
not your vibe.
No, I want to feel that you're choosing when you're taking it there and when you're opening it up and riding the tone of your voice around where it can go. He's always in this one tone of voice from where I've heard of him, and often's kind of at that one dynamic level. But more than that, the loose style, it reminds me a little bit of AC Alone's flow, where he'll never been as a bit mad, and it's it's offbeat and arrhythmic, but it's always arrhythmic leading into or between really solid anchor points that help anchor the jazzy arrhythmic vibes in between. And you got to be really, really tight and have really good rhythm to pull it off and have it feel clean. I don't feel like it feels clean here.
See,
this feels more What I often do if I record a verse too early, I maybe haven't decided exactly where I want the rhythm to go. I haven't picked between a couple different kind of specific rhythms that like you would write it on like a notation. And so I'm just kind of floating in between, starting late, and it's not coming out the way that I intend it to sound when I'm trying to deliver it. That's what it feels like, I guess. For me,
I'm on the opposite side of that, where I think this just hits that mark. I think there are a lot of really clever things that sound and certainly start as lines and then just like land at clever points in the beat. And I think that it's really constructed well.
That's why there's no way to do art wrong.
Yeah, that's why. And again, I can't believe I'm defending Dappersaurus. Normally, I would just be like, and I love 2 Shine 21. And Ann Hobbs has been super cool too. I have been cruel, and Ann Hobbs has just been like, yeah, no, we're good.
Sure.
So there you go. Okay, let's get in the next one.
Next.
Do I even need to play Show and Tell from Deshco? Do we all just know this is a perfect song?
No. Yeah, my favorite part of the vocals is that whole fucking song. Kadesh is whipping and he's just gassed the whole fucking time. He's like, never gonna try. It's whoa! He just throws away. He brings his entire vocal energy just all the way down.
Yeah.
Instantly, like a fucking machine.
Oh my God.
And just
there is literally I have 2 lines on this, or 2 notes on this. This track is perfect, 10 out of 10. It's just too good. To me, it was the absolute Everest, climbing Mount Everest of trying to do a fandom to flipping tank. And
shit.
They nailed it. They nailed it. From the moment the track starts to the moment that it ends.
This is Ryako's first sample flip, and this is the best sample flip I have heard of the most famous anime song. Holy fuck.
Yeah, like undisputable. Okay, let's get into Daddy Issue. Okay, we're going to listen to like 20 seconds of this song. This is Daddy Issues, Dive Bars.
So I ran to the edge of a forsaken place and took the hands of a man with a misshapen face. He broke an infinite hell, we were naked face. Notice this awakening in it, it's awakened in me. Watch how she walked like she was obsessive. And they come not aggressive. My friends, they think I'm just a little possessive. But damn, you're so impressive. And what I need you to know. You know, a rough childhood can make a girl go bad.
No, that's enough. That's enough of that song.
Okay.
Thoughts, Josh, on that first like 20, 30 seconds?
As someone with ADHD, this song makes me dissociate.
Yeah.
It is a lot of work to hear through. It feels like 2 or 3 different songs playing at the same time.
Yep. It really does.
I don't know if this is what Stellara got to record to, but even if it doesn't sound like it was, but even if it was, this beat is in like 13/16. It's so 7. Confusing. Every bar is 7.5 beats long. I don't know how, like 7.5 like 8th beats, like 16th, like really fast 13.
I have no idea what's going on the track.
I don't know. I don't know how someone's supposed to rap on that.
You can't. So I don't know what the beat was. I don't know where the singing went. It was sort of just a full misfire. Hopefully they come back in round 2 and have like.
I got to put so much of this on Mike Media.
You simply have to, because Mike had to put that together and like bounce it to an MP3, right?
Yeah, there have been. The beat was an M4A, actually.
Oh.
Not that I downloaded the stems and I'm going to try to remix it or anything, but.
Please fix this.
So, like, even if you're going to do something like that, we've had like 11/4 songs in the VPC, 7/8, 6/8. Like, if you got a difficult beat to ride, like, come up with some sort of like reference for your vocalist to record to like help them along.
Yeah.
Because I mean, even if someone's a great musician and can feel 13/16 real naturally, like it's helpful to have a guide while you're recording. You know, it's a weird groove. It's not a natural groove to follow. It's a complex groove. Yeah, there's like I don't think there's any treatment on the vocals. It doesn't sound like there's any compression.
Yeah,
so parts of it peek through and are loud, but a lot of it's difficult to hear. It's
quick 1 out of 10 on that one. Quick
hard
1 out of 10.
to hear through to what the song was supposed to be.
Yeah, and so I'm glad that they uploaded the stems to remix it. I would love to hear what this sounds like with like a really clean producer take on it, to see if it's something where you can take these kind of raw random parts and make something from it.
One thing I would recommend for Stellara, and Jeremy does this for me, which is super helpful, is just grab a track that has the kind of vibe that you want and like record your demo vocals on that to send to your producer to kind of give an idea, like, hey, here's where I feel like it would sit on the beat, the kind of groove that I wrote to, the, you know, the sub rhythms and stuff. I think that would be helpful. It's kind of help guide Mike along too, give him an idea of what Stellar is aiming for.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see how they progress though.
Yeah, yeah. I'm
That's always so exciting.
Yeah, go clean and simple for the next one, and let's see where that takes you. All right, let's get into Bandit's Secret by Double Dragon.
I don't remember this one.
Forever said to precious moon is lost. The others mourn him with ceremony grand, rising up to heaven the lighting moon of frost, with a melody from the morning band. Harvest barren, wine spilled, lovers slumber beside the bloody scarlet eyes. Though cut in half shall be your number.
Whether a heist or a verse is highly rehearsed. If you don't fight me at first, then I'll politely be cursed. Use a Ben's knife to end lives whenever my friends fight. We use the flip of a coin to keep our heads right. A specialized crew, we victimize fools who drink their wrongdoings in society's rules. We rob from the rich and head somewhere scenic. Give it to the me, cause I swear that I need it. Born in a meteor's crater, not a hero or savior. Racking up favors just to zero them later. Put a price on my own head, diversionary tactics. Battled assassins and we all did wicked backflips. No time for the devil, I'm a couple letters off. Like a mob boss's daughter, you'd be so much better off if the power that you held was just committed to my journal, where it can reside for all of time eternal. Gotta see it to believe it. Open the book and read it. Tell me all your secrets. Your power's not deleted. I promise that I'll keep it. And I'll
this is technically the chorus.
Check their pronouns.
We always pay a price. Put your hand on the book. Put your life in my hands. Not a bad deal, at least from where I stand.
Yeah, some scratching. Fuck yeah.
Yeah,
more scratching and nerdcore.
Yeah, more scratching and nerdcore. All right. So number one, did you dust your wets, Josh? Did you?
I did. I made pre-made yakisoba packet.
I saw that in the comment when you laughed. I'm like, oh, he's laughing at dusting your wets. Number two, that was the track. I don't know if I'm supposed to be
Skeptic's pronouns are he and him.
Yeah, perfect. So Skeptic. Yeah, I agree with you. I love the beat as it comes in. Like, it's very exciting when you first hear it, and you're like, all right, this is good. There's a nice low end. There's a nice mid and everything.
One of those
and
tracks,
then it doesn't do anything.
Starts rapping. You come in, you're like, okay, this might be good. Mm-hmm. What's going to happen? Which way is it going to break?
And then it doesn't break in any direction. And in fact, to add to that, the chorus, which is a real problem because you don't know when it comes in at first because it's in the same cadence. There's like an added layer in the production, but it's essentially in the exact same cadence of the verse, and it doesn't have like a break pause to help identify it. And it's absolutely a mistake. And a lot of hip hop does this. If you're not, you've really got to make your chorus different from your verses. You just do. And you can do that song construction wise. You can do that with spacing, with transitions. You can do that with singing or pitching vocals around or doing something. But usually the answer is less words on your chorus. Less words on your chorus than on your verse. If you do less words on your chorus, that's not 100%, but it's like 85% a correct.
That's a really good piece of general feedback for the VPC. A lot of people aren't leaving space.
Yeah.
Like, you got 16 bars. That doesn't mean they all have to be filled, you know? Let it breathe. You know, I mean, listen to some top 40 stuff, and that's one of the things Nerdcore can listen from top 40 radio rap. These shiny ass 8-bar verses, like leave some space.
Yeah.
You know, look at what I'm coming with.
Yeah.
I'm the one who's gunning it. You know, just like
don't do that the whole verse, because Nerdcore is more of a wordy things. But like come in on the second verse after the chorus, which has been singing. And it's kind of hard to transition. Come in with those, like an example, like Klopp said, and it will immediately reframe people back to rap without it being like, I just came from something real simple to unless it's Tank with Deshko, because that's what that song needed. And if you're Kadesh Flow, ignore all of this. As many words as you want.
You just got called out by Bonehand in the chat.
Why?
He said the guy from Death Star is calling out too many words in a chorus.
You listen to Death Star choruses that I write, and there's not a lot of words in them. I'm not saying that there's not a lot of words in Death Star chorus, but if you had to judge which of the rappers in Death Star uses more words.
I'm a social apothecary dealing the
The intro is too long, Shane. The intro is always too long.
I've heard Hunter x Hunter is good. I'm gonna check that one out. That sample sounds cool. It's hard to hear what notes the bass is playing, though.
Yeah, the bass is
do that. Get those bass notes audible.
Isn't isolated enough in there for me to hear it.
Ooh! Here's a secret. Here's a trick I do all the fucking time.
Yeah, here's a top trick.
You know, you can augment the bass in a sample with new bass. Just literally learn verbatim the exact bass line that's playing and put it on a synth, and then just kind of squish it with EQ so that it sounds like it's on the original.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, that can be real nice.
You gotta like learn bass, but as a person that played bass for almost 10 years,
I mean, EQ it down and throw it in auto tune, and it'll tell you the notes. You know?
Yep. There you go.
Yeah. Look up the tabs. Look, I look up tabs for songs all the time for VPC beats.
All right, let's get into Extra Dial, Celine, and Liz Redgrove.
Who are these folks?
Who are these people? I haven't heard from Extra Dial in this competition. They've been real quiet.
All right.
Way down.
Quiet. You know Extra Dial.
I can hear bits and pieces of the song hitting the right headphone or left headphone. The one that I can't remember if I have this flipped.
Not so fucking hard.
My rose has thorns to spare, shows from those who care. I didn't make the cut. My life the boost, the burns, the fair goes to show we share a bit in cravings, but it's like time spent with gems that the wins and ends.
I love that AAD sub-rhyme, that scheme.
Best friend.
They're brides.
Want you, and want you, usher. Through friends of presence, rush. Not too much involved, you once upon a time. Deference, not read, deferred to death. Wild word intent left.
I think everyone knows this one pretty well.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, this shit knocks. It's like a mosaic, like a collage of just like broken file fragments.
Yep.
It's so sick. I love that sonic switch up, like 2/3 through, where it stays totally blown out and clipped, but totally shifts. It's way more clear, brighter. And it's like, I don't know. That's wild. It felt like in Chameleon when they just totally switch up the vibe. Herbie Hancock song.
Yeah.
I love that.
This is Steve's hot take. This is a good song. I can't enjoy it. 2 reasons. Number 1, I'm half deaf. A lot of the like hard panning stuff really just that a lot of that doesn't work for me. I simply cannot enjoy it. I can kind of feel it as a vibration on my headphone on my skin, so I know when it's happening, but it just means I don't hear those parts. To a fair degree. Number 2, I feel, and I totally get this. The artists are doing their thing, and they're killing what they're doing. I feel like this is undercutting one of the tools that Celine has that very few, that like is hard to come by. Celine's comfort of flow and drama when they want it, and putting it down and locking it into just a groove when they want it, and everything is so much better than like 99% of rappers on the mic. And by filling it with this really cool, complex noise production, you're like, this is cool, but this could apply to a much worse rapper and sound almost as cool as Celine doing that. So I think for me, it's probably about balance, but I would never expect them to take that feedback because that's not what they're trying to do. So it would be like me being like, you know, I love this death metal song, and I can tell there's some good instrumentation in there. What if this was like a modern jazz, relaxed, casual play thing?
I have a perfect anecdote.
Yeah.
My friend Matt plays guitar in the band Emery, and they're like a screamo band. And the first time his grandpa, they're both from South Carolina, and the first time his grandpa came to see his show at like it was like a label, not platform, like showcase. And we came up after the show. He's like, "Grandpa, how did you like the show?" He said, "Oh, I really liked it, Matt. I think there might be something wrong with your amplifier. It sounded real fuzzy."
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Like, that's valid feedback. It's not very applicable.
Yeah, exactly. And so for me, it's always going to be that I want this to be like a half-half, where like the noise really takes a back seat for, 50-60% of the song, and then punches in and out of it a lot more. And then it kind of lives in that. But that's me not acknowledge. That would be foolish to ask, because it's like, but then that's not what the track's trying to do. Otherwise, it's masterfully done. Objectively, it's a great song.
Yeah, one thing I would say, I'd love to hear more of the vocal clipping happen as an independent effect, more than just every time the kick hits, it pushes the voice out of the way. That's a little fatiguing to try to listen through, but I'm all about hearing some blown out fucking vocals, All right, next.
Yep. Frankenstein's Monster. I believe. Yes.
Yeah. It's fucking. I'll be straight up. I didn't know Prowess produced.
I had talked to Prowess about this. I just sort of assumed that they did because they were so comfortable rapping. She was so comfortable rapping that I was just like, you probably produced too. You're so confident at the one.
Student in my ways, considered the bad guy. But let's look into the neighborhood. Yes, we should. The same peers screaming, fight the power. Use double standards to take the power out the fight. Every hour, every minute, every second that we breathe. Cause the humans think you better trash. Wolverine, metal fiends, yeah. Controlling metals in the palm of my hand. The same heavy metals that the main criminals can understand. Without a question, claiming they lethal weapon to learn a lesson. What happened to serve your protection?
I'm gonna let it begin into the chorus, and then we'll talk about it.
Become the prime source of raising your kids. So while you sit and worship what Xavier did, just know I don't need a squad protecting the crib. Yeah, you say we all people, but at the same time we are not equal. We know I am not your hero, but you view evil by the people zeros. I just wanna roam on my own. Why you can't leave me alone? So blessed with the ego, come and take shots at Magneto. We go presto, change your mystic on these tips.
That hook
is
so
out
good.
of control, which is not surprising between Mark fucking Cooper and Prowess. Both of them know how to make good hooks.
And beat knocks so hard. Those drums come in. The drums hit so hard, and they push so precisely perfect. They it's so wonky. Feels like Dilla. I love it.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I'm just like, this is a party track, and I want to hear it during a party. It's essentially it's a 10 out of 10 for me. Like I don't have. There's some tracks where you can do just like, we kind of have the verse, and then midway through the verse, something gets added to the beat, and then we have our chorus, and then that's pretty much it, and then we just loop and repeat. But the bones are so good, you can get away with it, and the hook is so good. and the delivery is so good that you're just like, you know what, this doesn't need anything more. This is just good on its own.
I have some feedback actually.
Yeah, what's your feedback?
I would love to hear a little bit more activity, more motion in things other than the drums and the bass. The drums and the bass line are so fucking live in this song. I'd love to hear some more candy going up in the higher register, the mid, those samples, some variations in the chops, maybe like punching up some of those lines, dropping out. That's about all I got though. Mix sounded fucking beautiful. That hook goes.
That hook is like.
I also love like a bunch of people must have made this song before, but I love that someone took the intentional parallel written in about Xavier being the MLK and Magneto being the Malcolm X, and really like coming back with the hindsight of hindsight and being like, yo, Malcolm X was like on the right side of things though, right? Like, let's take another look at Magneto for a sec.
Yeah.
And that was shit. That shit was dope.
Malcolm X was
into it.
All right. But yeah, it's perfect. It's so funny when you have someone like Mark fucking Cooper who can rap bars for days and then slides into a great hook. And you're like, you don't need this hook to lift you up. You could have just done like a simple, and we would have just listened to verses forever. And so I do love that it's just like, why are you coming with two weapons? Why are you coming with two big old like cell point guns as a vocalist? I'm so bored.
Next one.
Flow Ridden, which is Storyville and DJ Tayukin. Nope, that's not what's happening.
Tayukin, I think Joey Z nailed it. I think he said Tayukin sounds like some old school Street Fighter stuff before we knew what they say it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He's trying to figure it out.
I'm so bored. I'm so bored. There's nothing to do in this realm that I haven't done before. Oh, I'm so bored.
I question the choice to make this the hook.
I'm out of pocket with this one. I really like this hook.
All we do is
but I recognize I'm in the minority on that.
Shambles with no life, no light, no trees, no apples. I sit and lurk on this rock amongst desert, dirt, and rot until I work up this plot to stir up the pot. Happen to be casually walking by this portal and sort of drop my death note accidentally. Silly me, I'll have to leave the DK gray and glooming. Pay a vacay down into the world of the humans. Ryuk is the name-o, intrigue is the game, so
was accidentally supposed to rhyme with portal.
It isn't the same old same. I soared off this ledge down this vortex.
Maybe accidental portal. Like you could get it there if you really fought for it.
Who dies? My Shinigami eye spies this light Yagami guy. I've been consumed with listlessness, but he's listing things.
That's the best line.
So
yep.
Interesting. So bored.
All right.
Bored. There's nothing to do.
What you got, Josh?
This is good. It feels like not a first draft, but it doesn't feel like the finished draft of the song.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of places where things could have easy punch ups. Maybe it was just like the read through, like that opening line. All we do is gamble, walking around in shambles with no life, no light, no tree, no apples. Like could have real easily been with no life, no tree, or no life, no light, no tree, and no apples. Like push it a little bit and give some forward momentum.
Yep.
I don't know. Having it the same one just kind of like stopped the movement that was going. Overall, bars, you know.
Yeah.
It goes.
Storyville,
it feels,
right?
Yeah. Yeah. It could use a little polish to become a finished song, but it's a good song. That hook is difficult though. How are you going to make half of your hook, literally half of your entire hook, be "I'm so bored" and like rapping it like you're bored? I'm so bored.
I mean that's deliberate, right? But
right.
There's no way that's deliberate.
It's still
for
still
me.
A
It doesn't
song that
bother
you want
me.
people to listen to.
For me, it's absolutely fine. Though I might not have introduced the hook until after the first verse, so that you know people know it's like, okay, the rapper's dynamic, and now this hook is a very deliberate choice. Not I'm hearing this, and is the rapper gonna come in like really flat and low and really simple to kind of keep the same monotone tone? That's not what Storyville's going to do. And so you don't want people to abandon you. So just starting with the verse, trimming that first chorus and then doing the chorus on the back ends. The second verse also does a better job to some degree of mixing up the beat in the background or mixing up the package in the background behind the rapper. But it doesn't quite nail it. And I agree with you. This does feel like second draft, third draft, but like 2-3 drafts still away from its final form of
I
a
just
song.
don't think it's ready.
It's like a 6 or a 7 out of 10, depending on how that verse hits you. Maybe a 5, but somewhere in that middle okay range.
Beat seemed fine. I forgot it.
Yeah.
I don't remember anything about it.
It's got a little guitar riff on it
while it was playing.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's get it. Green Lotus. Green Lotus.
God, Osiris fucking snapped on this.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Think y'all funny.
Is that a
like y'all
tag?
bloody.
I couldn't tell.
I keep my shoes muddy. Shit about to get ugly. I'ma line out the cage. And I'm feeling y'all hungry. A savage for the ages. Here to take my money. Bitch, I ain't no hero. They call me you Gerald. Alias is ogre. Against me, then it's over. Bitch, I ain't no hero. They call me you Gerald. Alias is ogre. Against me, then it's over. Kill all of your soldiers. I'm a one-man army. You can try to use guns. Y'all weapons can't harm me. If you think you can stop me, then we can party. This is not sparring. I am not boxing. It could be karate. It'll be boxing. When the pain hits you, it is not stopping. If you don't know me, then do not approach me. I tear out your eyes just like Dopo or Rocha. You bleeding out slowly. You lay.
I give this best delivered vocals of the round.
What?
I give this best delivered vocals of the round.
I deeply disagree with you, but not because the vocals aren't delivered right for what they are. This song,
I don't care what they are. I believe it.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's saying. I can't hear through the lyrics till like the 10th time I hear a song.
Yeah. But
he's saying them.
Yeah, he's saying the words. Like the passion's there. Like okay, the executing of the words coming out of his mouth is excellent. I will give you that. The choice of everything in this song is to hold on to something for too long. The scheme that is the beginning of this entire song, too long. Like as far as like the delivery scheme, the na 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 na.
Are you doing Ghostbusters right
now? No, that's what Osiris. Yeah, that's literally the rhythm of his vocals through the whole thing. They take too long to introduce the drums. They take too long to then change the drums up and intensify them to match the beat. It's just a lot of I'm taking too long to get to the change ups or show the talent. It gets there. We started editing, like he starts changing it up, and then bam, Osiris is great.
I think that is proportional to how hard it fucking goes off when it drops. And I think he earned it. Like it goes off so hard. I don't know.
Yeah. For me, if you're going to take a minute plus to get into the fun part of the song, because you're just redoing what should have been the first 2 to 4 bars over and over again, I'm skipping that track. I'm never going to hear the back half of that track.
One thing I would say is maybe it was, but that sample chop in the intro of the beat sounds like a fucking producer tag. I don't know if it was a producer tag, but it fucking sounds like one.
All right, let's get into the next one since we deeply disagree. But yeah, I'm 100% not concerned about that team doing better on their next track for me. I just need them not to hold on so desperately to the same thing, the same trick, for twice as long as I want them. All right. Rap Genius.
God, I was deep into Fringe, and I barely remember Gene the Cow.
Did I not do this one? Maybe?
Rap Genius?
Yeah, Rap Genius. Okay, I did. I just did it out of order. Okay.
I didn't even notice the Fringe theme.
I was on a farm. I was eating grass, I was chilling out. Now I'm in.
That's a good flip.
I think that I'm trapped, cause he couldn't use a rat to bring him back. Maybe I should join a frat. Well, I'm here in this basement in Cambridge. I ain't seen the sun or the sky in like ages. His crimes, I'm a silent witness. I write them down on pages. In my mind, I got a nice meal to mow and grazing. But my mind's caged in this cage, and I'm raging and grazing. Am I an accomplice to his accomplishments? Will I chomp this grass and ponder this? Am I anonymous? Or am I synonymous with the bishop's lies? Forgotten in his church the dimensions of his crimes, cause he lied to himself. In the mirror, hear the lies he told himself. Selfish with his fear that his mind broke. Hope no but for the son whose torn soul stole from the same father through a hole. Dimensional portal, a dead who couldn't let go. Nice to meet you, I am Gene Kids. I'm the only cow who's a genius. Open dimensions right at their hinges. That's where you'll find me, out at the fringes. Nice to meet you, I am Gene Kids. I'm the only cow who's a genius. Open dimensions right at their hinges. That's where you'll find me, out at the fringes. Don't have a cow, we're awful pets.
Okay. Yep. It's Eminem voice.
It sounds a lot. Real vibes of "I'm Sorry, Mama."
Yeah. Big Eminem voice. Which I don't hate on people as much.
Not in a terrible way.
If I listen to a lot of rappers, I can then point to the 6 voices that inspired them. Right.
That's funny. That's a funny thing to say. I like that.
But yeah.
So I think this is Hardcorey. Is that the new solo moniker for on Facebook? There were Benjamin Beer from the former Fat Boys.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's who this is.
Oh, but
former Fat Boys, like OG nerdcore.
Yeah.
This is a cool. I appreciate a sincere, like full cheesy take on the cow from Fringe.
Yeah, right.
I mean, that's what it is. It is what it is.
The lyrics are appropriately cheesy and silly to go with it. I think the flip was pretty good. I don't know if it evolves enough for me, but like that's fine.
I think this track would have been a lot better if it didn't get released with the Cabbage Merchant, because the Cabbage Merchant did what this was doing, but better. On such a cathartic level.
The second verse goes a bit long. They use the phrase "here's the chorus" right before the chorus. I've done it before. It's a bad thing to do. Don't do it.
I don't mind.
Later in their chorus, later in their track, they integrate "move, bitch, get out the way, bitch, get out the way." And like, there's a part of me that just wishes that they just taken that and just that would have been the hook. Like the whole hook, because it's a good hook. And I think it's a little better than their chorus. But like, it's a fine track. I did like how it came. It gets you very excited early on because, like you said, it's a fun instrumental to take, and it's a great flip on that instrumental. But then, if you don't like Eminem's voice, you're not gonna like it. That's just how it is.
It's not my cup of tea, but it seems like a cogently put together song.
Yeah, it's a 5, 6, 7 category, where it's like, this isn't bad, it's just might not be what someone goes back
the
to.
score. I forgot about scores. I was like, what's a 5, 6, 7?
Yeah, what
does that mean?
Yeah, because
like
it's like
5, 6,
1
7.
1 is just worthless, 2, 3, 4 is bad, 5, 6, 7 is like, this is all right, 8, 9 are really good, and then 10 is like, I literally don't know how I could have done anything. This is just perfect.
Hugging dudes. Johnny Salt. What a great fucking name.
Johnny Salt and DJ Lemon.
Hela from my yoga, you're the cream to my mocha, you're my sugar and my safety. Take your suit to elevate me. Hela from my yoga, I just want you to see me. Partying like a 65 medium BC. Hela from my yoga, you're the cream to my mocha, you're my sugar and my safety. Take your suit to elevate me. Hela from my yoga, I just want you to see.
This is how you do a troll song.
Yeah.
This is how you troll the VTC.
Yep.
You can't not smile when you listen to this. Is this Compressor? Do we think this is Compressor?
Maybe.
Do we think this is anyone we know?
Yeah, possibly.
Is there anyone we know that you think this is, I guess? Alright, guesses in chat.
Yeah, guesses in chat if you think we know who this is. This is a troll song. My first note is I don't know what to do with this like 90s Euro dance speaking vocal delivery.
It sounds a whole lot like the dude from Rammstein.
Yeah,
like he's got that kind of timbre to his voice.
Yeah, and so this is some Euro trash vocal line, which I love, but also hate as a song concept. I'm of course upset because there's anything related to Chrono Trigger and it's not an amazing masterpiece musically. Since Chrono Trigger is great,
this song is fucking fun. Does what it says on the tin. It's exactly what it should be.
It's super short song is the key too, which obviously, like, if you're gonna do a joke, do it like that. Have a little fun with it, bang through it, let people just do it. We're going to literally skip a track that fails at doing that later.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm not gonna make you listen to it. All right, let's get into Beam.
Before we move on to the next one, do we want to wait until we get to it in the order to do the extra stuff with my track, or look at your track, or do we want to jump around and do those interspersed?
No, we'll just get to it. We'll jump to your track and my track to make sure you're still here during it. Right. But I'm just fine, kind of like chopping down.
Beam me up, team up.
Beam me up, team out.
Ilseer?
Ilseer and Al Capone with a EWN for Pone.
Okay, here's one. I appreciate that their team name is Il Capone and Al Seer.
Yeah.
And the people in the team are Ilseer and Al Capone.
That's fun.
That's funny.
Sonya, beam me up, 2 stars teaming up. Sonya,
is this the Anti-Jordy song?
2 stars, Sonya. 2 stars teaming up.
Stop what you're doing. I'm about to ruin the image of James doing that you're used to.
Oh, holy shit. Okay, I just recognized the sample. That's kind of funny.
This is my voyage on the Starship Enterprise. Boy, learned from the hardship, but I ain't here to mentor guys. Face it, you'd known the lab of Aberdeen. Sadly seen a spaceship blown to reams of smithereens. The real McCoy, no bones about it. Got a leg up on Penn, yep. Boy, no need to moan about it. What's the matter? Can't mix matter and antimatter, y'all. As an admiral, I battered her lateral. Penetration of the battle call.
This rapper is having different.
Next generation?
Yeah, this is like... This is like 4 VPCs ago, and Hobbs.
Rougher, tougher, save you from the buffer. Like, you don't say the word buffer like that, sir.
All right, let's fade it out. Let's fade it out. It doesn't get stronger later.
Rap sense are tough to notice in yourself, tough to overcome.
Yeah.
But if you find yourself dropping an R, make sure it's an R you drop when you talk, or it might sound really goofy.
Yep.
From the buffer.
This felt like I wanted a different rapper over this beat, because like the beat comes in and I'm like, I kind of like this like weird little discordant piano. Of course, the Star Trek sample effect of the beam the whole time. But like I didn't like the vocals, and so I didn't want to keep listening to it.
For me, it reminded me of vocals that I've recorded when I was reading along to bars that were real dense that I didn't know very well yet.
Yeah.
It reminds me a whole lot of that. I'm missing some of the rhythms. I'm having to catch up.
Yeah.
I know that feeling.
One of my least favorite tracks of the round. I think I gave it a 2 or 3 out of 10. Not good. I
don't think I went that far. I think it was a 4.
I will destroy track if the vocalist is all over it, as Dappersaurus remembers. Not from this round, but previous VPCs.
Okay, this is the one without the terrible sample.
Yeah, no, this is not cool.
Hey, wait, come back, hold it.
Yes.
Is there anything we could pass on to our American brethren on Earth?
Yes. You could tell your American Glory vocalist Billy Joel that he did nothing for Glasnost.
I do like that.
That was an ST3K sample.
Yeah.
I like that.
I don't know, that intro felt like less than 20 seconds, so it was fine. It was fine, Shane.
I think this is still the intro.
This is too long. They could have gotten right into the song.
Distant future,
especially since they jumped right away from it.
the doctor stitched and sutured. Cause someday, maybe, I'll find the perfect movie to whittle your soul down. Don't clown, just jiggle that idiot control now. Come on with it, we don't stress. Monolithic, VHS, Camara, Baruga, the era that you are. You can tell I'm Daddy O. Kim Cattrall's my baddie though. Only with the deepest hurt and pearling like keeping flirting. Ugh.
Hi everyone, and welcome to my
All right, that's enough of that track. Thoughts, feelings?
Yeah. So beat wise, Jay, it feels like Jay has got 3 separate ideas leading up to there that don't really have much to do with each other.
Yeah.
And they just kind of happen one after the other.
Mm-hmm.
I like to see him a little more integrated stuff. Like if you go back and listen to Jay's production on some of the Magitech stuff from like 12 years back, those songs are progressive. The chord progressions totally vibe. I think doing some of that more EDM stuff that he's got more of a history with, just like harmonically along with this beat, I think could go a long way.
Yeah,
I think this could give a little more motion to the bed underneath it that felt less disjointed, kind of followed along.
100% agree.
Obviously, Gil needs a lot more compression on his vocals. The quiet stuff is getting lost a little bit, and the loud stuff is just kind of punching through in a little bit of awkward way.
All right, I've got an alternative for you. What if you just turn his vocals off? What if you just mute him?
I don't want to pick on Gil. I know he and I don't always get along, and we don't have the same cups of teas. But I mean, Gil seems like a pretty good dude.
I'm sure Gil might be a fine person. I never trust a person with a sense of humor that I wouldn't describe so much of a cup of tea as like the backwash of a thrown away Gatorade bottle. But
it's tough because like he's done shit that's objectively dope. Like the beats he did with Billy the Fridge and VPC1. Fucking bang.
But like that doesn't involve him talking, which is key.
Yeah, so many other things he's done.
Yeah, and
do not seem like they accomplished what he tried to accomplish.
Gil is literally what I would assume is a person that doesn't like hip hop that is making it to be funny because they shouldn't be making hip hop, and I will not forgive that. I think Thugmaster should work with literally anyone else.
If that is the case.
Yeah. I'm not into it. And that's the vibe I've always gotten from them. And I'm not very good at rapping, but like I care, like I try as best as I can. I try.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't like it's a bunch of that. And then when your sense of humor is, like CBS from 10 years ago level of quality of writing, like there's nothing there for vocal. There's nothing about Gil that makes me want to listen to a track. Josh does not sign off on this opinion. This is my opinion. And I really think that people like him releasing music is a bad look for nerdcore.
I mean, I'm not saying I want to go listen to Gil songs. I have a hard time knowing whether something. So there's this thing that I said this on Beaker's stream, but it's worth saying here.
Yeah.
There's this thing that used to be a lot of nerdcore. Frontalot has said, I invented a genre of music called nerdcore that people often mistake for novelty music.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like there was a contingent early on of people who heard Frontalot, thought it was novelty music, and was like, oh, I want to make novelty rap songs. And the joke about them making a rap song was the fact that what an interloper they were in rap.
Yeah.
How out of place and unexpected it was. How many nerdcore songs have the rapper letting us know that they're white because we couldn't tell? Like, I hate that shit. That's a bad look. It's fucking tourism.
And maybe he's not doing that. Maybe Gil isn't doing that.
Of black art. But
maybe
I can't tell when things are that or just someone who isn't very good.
Yeah, maybe he's just not very good.
And sometimes people are sincere and like not wanting to appropriate and like deep in the culture, but not good. Like Paul Bartman,
Yeah.
Like it happens.
Yeah. And when that happens, it happens. Like it's fine. We've been dealing with Gil not being good at this game for like 10 years. Like fucking Jesus. Right. Okay. Fizzgig Pip, Muppet Ronin, Kabuto, Python, and Beaks.
Ah, there you are. It's about time.
Hey.
Musicians, play for your emperor.
Oh my god. A concept track? What is this, 2005? Y'all gonna rap as Piccolo or something? Y'all gonna be fucking Sephiroth? Alright, yo. This is cringe, but I'm gonna do it. Beaker, we got this. I'm gonna do it for the vine. Must love dogs, must use multis. I'm a Muppet, plus my whole vibe much too culty. You gully, you grotten, you rotten, you musty, you must be. You want me
Best
on
line.
your beats, don't
My whole
insult
vibe
me.
much
Your
too
girl
culty.
look like Agra, you cucks probably oughta. All of ya, wonder if I fucked the old Madra. We gods and we monsters, you all getting stomped up. Y'all forgot I got Skek Maul in the roster. Kid, I'ma sink you like the biz to the mark. You a bitch and a mark, my crystal is dark. My jewelry is infinite, intricate, sharp. Feast while you drink Fizzgig piss in the dark. And from me ain't no sympathy gathered. You a simp, I'ma burn you into cinders and
I think we
ashes.
got
I'ma
this.
shit on you bastards. The ritual master shit every last minute that I'm spitting, I'm blasting.
I also forgot to say one thing about the last track and one thing about another track earlier. Fuck, I just totally spaced on what the thing I was going to say about the last track was. Oh my god. Oh, yeah. Am I the only one who is still like skeezed out by the whole like dark continent vibe of King Kong and that whole universe?
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I'm not into it.
It's
on a similar note, I fucking hate the name of Daddy Issues. Like that whole concept of Daddy Issues is such a harmful trope. And I don't know. I saw a song called Daddy Issues before I knew literally anything about it. I just viscerally was like, ugh, I don't want that. I don't want to type it into chat when I talk about it with people. I don't know. That name sucks. Everything else aside.
Okay, so Muppet Ronin, Fizzkick Piss, Kabuto, and Beaker. I have a lot of notes on this one. Like Kabuto's fine.
I have very few notes on this one.
He sounds like Kabuto, right?
Right.
Verses go on a bit long on this. Leading up to the chorus, I would have liked like a drop or a change in the melody, or have the MC slow down or space out or really walk off.
Is it
so that
slow
the bounce
beat
rhythm
for
really hit on the
3/4
chorus?
16ths,
Yeah. And it's because the chorus bounces a bit. And having a transition that like recognizes the changeover between that would have been good. Cutting down the verses would have been good. Love the scratching. It has scratching.
I don't love the scratching, but I very much appreciate that Beaker put scratching in a Kabuto song. Because Kabuto is like the best turntablist in nerdcore. How can you not?
Let me rephrase. I'm happy that there's scratching in the track.
Big props to Beaker for doing it, for going for it. That's what's up.
I think
how can you not?
Budo as a MC is one of those people that really cries out for a producer to then go back and rework their drums all around them. He is so comfortable moving around the pocket, and if the drums follow and play with him there, ooh, you could have a really dynamic song when you give him sort of like a skeleton, and then he just naturally just kind of flips his change ups wherever he's comfortable with, and it all sounds like he's just knows
the drums are
lines.
Kind of straight, huh?
Yeah,
they're kind of just falling on the floor,
and that's fine.
And Beaker coming from EDM too.
Yeah, that's fine, and it didn't hurt the track. I just wanted this to be like a 9. And to me, it was much more of like a 7, kind of burgeoning on 8. I love Kabuto, so it's pretty hard for him to be on a track I don't want to just re-listen to repeatedly. But that's just because I like his cadence delivery. And I like his lyrics. I think they're like outside baseball of lyricism.
I keep forgetting. Oh wait, no, it's not Dark Crystal. Sorry. Yeah, it's
yeah.
Oh, there are a couple weird parts on this. I don't know. He says something about like your girl's so ugly, and it's like, come on, bro. There was another one. He's got some line about missed the last 10 years of nerdcore, haven't missed much, which is like, I get it. That's a cool bar, but also like like
just everything.
Like, fam, if you knew what the last 10 years of nerdcore change has been, you would be so fucking hyped and supportive about it, because it's the opposite of what you clearly anticipated it had been.
Yeah,
because it wasn't.
Let me just scroll to a lot of the artists that are contributing to this VPC. Like, of the last 10 years. Go on.
Daniel was calling out a lot of nerdcore's trash way back in the day before anyone else was calling it trash.
Yeah,
so I know the spirit behind that isn't what it sounds like, but that is what it sounds like. It's like, oh no, Dan, that's not the case, buddy.
Speaking of the category of like old school, been in nerdcore a long time, every fart is a work of art. Muscle, Laughing Shrimp, Beefy, and Tanner.
Smiles times from your brother in a burger suit. No formal training, but a big one I'm bringing you. We playing in the hallway and I'm taking commissions. We slaying every Sunday, more relatable Simpsons. Your head spins when I'm dressing up like Queen Latifah. We can always make it sweeter. Mom's got candy in the freezer. When the guests come in, drop a beat and make them go wild. Best friend Ken jumping all up in the freestyle. I'll stay with Jeffrey, I don't wanna grow up. You ask my mom to come and get me if I pee on this rug. You're home alone and I've been pacing, I've been facing my fears. The only one inside my home who's never hiding his ears. And I've been begging for a snack like I've been begging for your pardon. Need a taco on a toilet that was placed inside a garden. And my sister's got my back if we should ever have a problem. Best legs in the family, for sure the smoothest bottom. All I need is
Beefy's got some fucking lungs.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to see me succeed, so inhibitions, I just do them out the window. Do your part, every start is a work of art. Yeah, I know my family will always see me separately. When I'm feeling agony, to help me through the tragedy. We see her clear of apathy and lose myself for rhapsody. My keyboard says it perfectly like
Gene.
all I need.
Gene.
Yeah, like that's Jade. So
that feels like a song.
Yeah, it's a song. Tanner doesn't make beats outside of songs. Like Tanner has constantly repeated that they are not a hip hop producer.
Tanner doesn't make beats. Tanner makes songs.
Yeah, they make songs.
Steve.
They've said all the time, they're like, I'm not really a hip hop producer. And I'm like, how so? And it's like, I just make beats and then Beefy raps over like these instrumentals. I'm like, that's hip hop. It doesn't matter that it doesn't sound like hip hop. You make perfect beats for Beefy. Anyone would be lucky to have a Tanner song behind.
My favorite thing that they did was remaking the classic Casio dog bark sample with Beefy's voice.
Yep.
And all like still like bit crushing it down. That was sick. This song's good. Joey Z on his stream had a real good insight. He said, I feel like I've been listening to Beefy rap for 15 years, and he raps really well, but always in the same pocket.
Yep.
I'd like to hear him rap a different pocket. I think that's a really good insight.
There are a couple tracks on some of his albums where he does step out of it, but yeah, he lives mostly in the same pocket.
It's a good pocket.
Celine was talking about that too to me, where it's like Beefy has like one trick, but man, is it a good trick. And
he's
he does it
so well. In so many ways.
Yeah, and
he's got that lung power. He's got like the syllables, the bars that don't stop but never feel over full.
Yeah,
so many things about him.
Yeah,
the singing. I also think sorry, I'm interrupting you like
Go
hell.
for it.
Last thing I would say, I think the clicking in and out of the auto-tune vocals on the hook was chef's kiss.
Yeah, that was so good. There's that. I think the hook was really good. Listening to it again, I'm just really happy with this song. But yeah, it's basically, do you like how Beefy delivers songs? Yes? Then you're just going to like every song he does. He is the offspring in their prime of nerdcore rappers, except 15 years later, he didn't get like super, like he didn't try and push himself in directions that were unpleasant. It's just like, yeah, it's just still this. And because
no way.
Yeah, exactly. And so I love Beefy. I would listen to and have listened to dozens of this vibe of track from him, and I will listen to dozens more. Because he's the only one that does it. That's the thing. If other nerdcore rappers sounded like him, it would be a problem. But it's like nobody tries to just do Beefy's vibe. So He just kind of comes with himself. Let's do it. Mist, Night City, Glitches, No Shoes, and another artist, Raccoon.
Oh, I thought it was Nas Hose.
I think it is Nas Hose. You're right.
Mist rose from the depths, cold dragon breath, the cause of death. I protect and intercept, tears of ice, dead soldiers wept. Secrets kept, this car was home, I'll die before that fact be known. The king himself, the red wings flown, overblown aggression shown. Prone, but I won't stand down to Baron or its pompous crown. I'll die before I let that clown come snuff out lives and burn this town. Around these caves I rule supreme, a nightmare in this fantasy. The final thing these ghosts have seen before they float the sticks upstream. Your victory unlikely, I was trained by forces frightening. The cave of summons run by Queen Ashura and Leviathan. Unseen I turn to mist, when they attack I end them twits. I blast them quick with ice that burns like 40 licks of fire. Shit, this murk to work on knights and mages for ages. Thousands of names of dead sages littered on hundreds of pages. Got no patience for vagrants, payments
I was about to be like, when do you want me to stop it? Because it just kind of keeps going.
He sounds like he's counting while he's rapping.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. It's so
like if there's a way to deliver these lines even with these accents and have it work. Instead of I protect and intercept, tears of ice, dead soldiers wept. You say I protect and intercept, tears of ice and dead soldiers. You know, you can switch it up. Something, but I don't know.
He doesn't swing
feels
ever.
Like feels like he's counting the bars.
Yeah. This needs a chorus. Flow is redundant. You could have taken the one after the 150 mark and turned that into a chorus. I did like the effects. There's effects later that are kind of added from the game sounds. And I thought they were like nested in well. The beat doesn't really like loop into. This is like the opposite, where it's just like I kind of produced.
Joey Z said in chat. Oh no! Damn, Celine said this is the song where I felt like the vocals were somehow quantized. Yes,
yeah, exactly.
That is exactly the vibe.
Yeah, and so it just sort of keeps going, and it doesn't really feel like a song. It just kind of feels like something that somebody did. It's not the worst track. It's just not worth going back to. Let's get to a much more exciting thing because it's everyone's like beloved little stepchild, everybody's beloved little orphan. This thing from. For our Cabbage Vendor.
Off with their heads! One for each head of cabbage!
These other vendors so useless. I'm here producing producers. My acumen so conducive to victory, so conclusive. I got leafy green and I'm coming for your coins. Believe me, green beans got nothing on the joy. You know what I mean, I draw a crowd, it's time to join. Unless, of course, my cart winds up getting destroyed. Green and now red, Napa and savory. My new line is so fine and it's on display to see. I think I finally escaped these kids' chicanery. It's just these setbacks that keep on restraining me. Water, earth, and fire, man, I got them all. I assure you it's fire.
Gotta get to that hook.
If you eat it raw, I got the produce you need for cut coleslaw.
These verses were long. I feel like the first verse should have been at least half as long.
I keep screaming, these classless bastards keep crashing. My passage is tragic. My cabbage! I am the Cabbage King. This is my coronation.
All right.
Let's all stand and sing.
All right. So, thoughts?
This is another like exemplary VPC troll track. It's not even a VPC troll track. It's just a funny concept.
This is just it's a novelty track in a way that doesn't seem like it's like the novelty is in the fact that they're doing a Cabbage Vendor song and they're having fun with that concept and they have a bunch of silly samples for it, and that's what they wanted.
This is exactly where novelty songs fit in nerdcore.
Yeah, because it's the sort of thing where it's like you wouldn't do a regular hip hop song about this. Like typically, like if you went to a hip hop concert and the artist delivered most thematic hip hop elements and then busted out this song, unless they were like a dance artist, you'd be like, this is really out of pocket. But like this one, it works. It's fun. It was a good concept. We all love the cabbage vendor from Avatar: Last Airbender.
Yeah,
like
it's well executed. You can tell they put work into it. You know?
The vocals were a little isolated.
Well,
the vocals were a little isolated. Some parts of it were wrong. It wasn't great. Needed a clearer singing chorus. Like, it's a little slurry on the second verse. Like, yeah, it's mostly they're having fun. It feels like they're just having fun with the track. I didn't rate it very high, but I'm glad that it's there, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think I gave it like a 4 or 5. I'm glad that it's there.
I give it a 5 or 6, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good song. I'm glad it's here. It's a welcome part of the rotation for sure.
Yep.
I hope we have more songs like this coming in each round.
Let's get in Marbles, Optimistic Nihilists. Hate the name.
I don't remember this.
Pose a question to a splendid mirror. What is honor? Roses on wars, coffers, mighty irony of justice, not lost honor. On the other hand, I can raise a nation with my fellow man. Martyrdom scam ain't the plan. I'm falling for a glory's grim temptation. I want to save every life I can without discrimination. Superheroes never seem to have the foresight to remove sides, wreck the vicious cycles, baiting me into its bloody current and sheer. I'll bite. Need to get stronger. Honor the promise to her by that old river. Cut, clip, ran a repeat in a mind time by my heartbeat's valor. Ain't about failure. Can't turn tail. I ain't hear no bail. Never abandon my ideals. Curtain crack. I feel. Steel. To rectify atrocities that pile the bodies of my lonely shoulders. Kill the stand righteous above the misplaced sins of my holy father. Every bubble of the grip, every click of the hammer's backward trip with the swift consent, ungun powder. Every inch of the blades with innocent stain on my face, but my aim can't falter. Please tell me I did some good. Cause this failure doesn't feel like honor. Hail to the warriors, honest benefactor. Good almighty dollar. Erase my face from the memory of the world.
Oh, that transition is rough.
Yeah, that's
rough transition.
That's this track. Rough is a good term to describe a lot of this track. Vocals fully isolated away from the rest of the beat. Is there compression on it? Unclear.
Yeah. This is one where it's like, so I love Laser Molina from the Double Clicks. They're great friend.
Yeah.
They are really great, like, thinker. I like the ideas that they put out in the world. One of the things that I've heard them say a lot is music is art and there's no way to do art wrong, which I think is a very valid thing to say. I do also think that there is something to be said for whether or not an artist achieved what they were trying to achieve in the execution of their art. And this is one where it feels pretty clear that what they were going for isn't what came out.
Yeah.
It feels like they were trying to do some things that didn't quite land.
Yeah, I don't.
I think it's a different distinction.
I also deeply disagree with any song as art. I believe that any song is a creation. I mean
art as anything like created by humans. Any cultural artifact I consider like little a art.
Yeah, I don't have a distinction of little a art. If it's little a art, then it's just product. But it doesn't
Product
really matter.
art.
Yes, it doesn't really matter in this case.
Tune in next week for the epistemology stream.
Yeah, Jesus. I just think it's a way for artists to duck under the fact that they're either not feeling good or trying to put up something that they didn't like, or they're struggling to work on getting better at something. Or an excuse to not consider the audience, which is 100% of what you're doing in a competition where you're being judged. So your thing is both entertainment and art if there's meaning behind it. But this just didn't hit for me. It's just
Joey
it's
Z's
a song.
up next, though.
But Joey Z's up next, and that's gonna clear my palate. It's gonna clear my palate. I'm gonna, spoiler alert, I graded this higher than my own song, so there you go. So,
let's hit it.
Is better.
Sounds like some Wu-Tang shit.
does.
This my final form. That violent storm is sending shiver down your spinal cord. I've absorbed the skills and tactics of your whole entire fighting force. I'm known for peeling caps and making timelines worse. I'm from the future where this city's all ashes and flames. Goku rising, yo, we're thinking humanity saved. But that heart disease from space had him fucked up. Goku died and swear to Kami, I was there for days. I'm from the future where your friends are all ghosted. 10 toes down in my arena, straight posted. 10 foes down, and I barely even noticed. Focus, local farmers, pumpy shotties, this your moment. You better hope your sons can handle me, son. Cause when this battle is done, if I've wanted you planted is dust. I'd estimate your chance status is none. You and all your buddies square up, dummies, it's round one. But you're waiting and blocking where I hit you with the perfect shot. Y'all ready? You're not ready to get charged up. Get your head out. I'll start turning blue. Check it out now. Bop, bop, bop. Who's up next? Who said Trunks? Who's Trunks dead? And it's all your fault. Showing up to the Game Boys, don't forget.
That sample change. God, I love the horns.
Okay. It's hard because I just want to listen to the whole thing. I've listened to this track so many times. Oh my
there's
God.
So many cool. There's so much work went into that. You can tell, and it pays off. It pays my ADD off at least.
Yeah,
because I can like the beat drops, and then coming in. It's like a different feel from a different drum break. I love that shit. I love doing that. The tempo change. I love a tempo change in a song. Anytime a song feels like it's not locked to a grid.
Is amazing. And you know, the simple choice of it's like, oh, we're slowing the tempo down a bit. Let me double time. Of course, you got to keep the energy up because the vocals are all the way up here. So you go down low, but you speed it up and then you get.
Just slow it down to chop. It's cool.
Yeah. I have. There's a bunch of vocals in the third movement that they go ever so slightly long on, in my opinion. I think it's a bunch of samples. That it?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember.
The bop 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 is cool. I love that that's Joey's favorite part because we all have our favorite part of our song and it's no one else's favorite part, but we will keep talking about it.
Maybe I was just wrong. Yeah, maybe I was just wrong. I don't know. Either way, I gave this a 9 out of 10. Fucking so good.
I think I gave this an 8 or a 9.
Yeah, this is absolutely. And to be clear, Joey has been clear that that grid thing was great, but Joey has been clear that that I am not the type of rapper that they fuck with. And I am 100% now, like, really listening to you. I'm like, I get it. I get it.
I do have one piece of feedback on Joey's vocals.
Yeah.
I love the dynamic range they showed. I love the cadence range and the flow range they showed, switching it up. That was all great. When they go to that big yelling, the vocal fry shouts, it's dope, but it's just kind of like flips into fortissimo, like forte, 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 forte all at once and just stays there almost the whole time. I'd love to hear a little bit of dynamic movement within there. Is all, but I mean, that's pretty nitpicking at this point. You know, this is one of my highest scoring songs.
Can you imagine this track live? Could you imagine how hype you'd be?
This would fucking kill live. And I love that it sounds like Joey took this in a live take, and you can tell it gives the performance a real cohesion that is rare to come across in a VPC song because of the quick turnaround.
Yeah. It's so hard to get those. Those things
achieving done. That is an accomplishment for sure.
We're gonna keep on the high note. We're gonna jump ahead a little bit. We're gonna listen to you first, and then we're gonna listen to me. But what we're going to do is, do you want us to listen to your track here, or do you want us to listen to the demo?
I feel like everyone's.
Yeah, you know this version of the track.
Everyone's heard it. Yeah, let's listen to the demo. So this is the version of the track.
Is this the one that I heard early on?
First, let's play the extended ending real quick. So our track, it ends with a cassette tape stopping, and it's like the last. Dig it up. Yeah, the last like crash hit of the end of the song gets cut off, and you don't actually hear what the end is. So we wanted to, we wanted to play the actual full ending.
There it is. I got it.
Okay, so this is what happens after the cymbal gets cut off. We can hear. I wanted to debut it here.
Hug cats every day.
So that was yours. Extra Dial has that too. Extra Dial has
it's such a coincidence that they even, it was the same thing that Celine ended up doing on their track. I don't know, but
yeah,
so
Hug cats every day. Accurate. Now let's listen to the first version of this, which I think is the version I got to hear because Josh and I were impatient and sharing each other's shit to each other.
Sunday night, MC117 sent me a vocal demo and all of the, vocals that were all recorded on their phone. And then I tracked bass guitar and programmed a bunch of drums. All the drums are 40 velocity units too high on the MIDI. I didn't do any of the synth stuff, but yeah, it still kind of goes, but the mix isn't as good. But here's the original demo we turned in Tuesday morning at 12:04 a.m., I think.
Yeah. I remember when you messaged me, it's like, I'm already done 2 days later. And I'm like, Josh, calm down. Clop, you can just, I like that Jeremy's like, we could still work on the track.
Yeah. All right, so this is the one. This is the.
Come on, Gigi.
There we go.
Clear the air. I'm coming with a long tail. Can't you see my contrail through the violet sky? Hi, I'm here, I'm there. I'm faster than a comet. Call me in the morning if it's rain or shine. And the honey's all buzzing and they phone me by the dozen saying come around to my place soon. Cause I'm the best that you can get when you're into heavy.
You can hear the drum fills that are in this one.
Prowess is right. This is big Bayside rock band energy.
Oh, 100%. Big Saved by the Bell energy.
Reach out. I got the right equipment.
I keep listening for all the harmony vocals stuff, and I'm like, nope, not there.
Like a magic spell.
Yeah, I think there's one or two layers of harmony on this. Not mixed well.
Flying like a tomcat. You know I'm pouncing on that. Oh, you never had it this well. No, cause I'm breaking in the riches and I'm catching all the witches. Gonna make the best of all 9 lives. And you know that I'm a giver. You just calling out the liver. Honey, look up in the sky. You wonder how time flies. Call Jiggins Delivery Service. Call Jiggins Delivery Service.
Oh no, Josh. The mix.
Coming to you.
No synth.
Yeah.
Hi, now you don't need any other. Introduce me to your mother and she'll say that I'm a real sweet cat. Also say goodbye to those guys, straighter than the crow flies, ready and I'm set. And you ain't seen nothing yet. Call Jiggins Delivery Service. Call Jiggins Delivery Service. Call Jiggins Delivery Service.
Way louder guitar solo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's that old rough demo.
Yeah, I love
that
that's the rough demo, right? Like that's the rough demo, and it's a perfectly excellent competitive track in the VPC. yet it is so significantly less good than your final track. Like, the polish on the final track is just there, proving that if you just have 2.5 weeks to fiddle with something after you've got a lot of its raw materials, you can make it a lot better.
After we submitted that, I didn't listen to it again for like almost a week. It might have been like a week and a half. I think that was huge. It gave me that distance you don't usually get a chance to have from a song in a VPC round.
Exactly. It's simply better. I only have one note on the actual original song for this. Or like the properly submitted song for this.
Oh yeah.
And my only note is on Jeremy, MC117. And it's that when he does the verses, he does the kind of like the I-E-I-E-I-E-I's in the mid verse and then leading into the chorus. And I think on the first verse, he should have not done it in the mid verse. That is literally the one change I could figure out how to make. I was like, that'd be fun because it'd be
fun. It for later.
Save it for later as a transition and then return it in the second verse twice now that you've heard it once and you're like, that was cool. And then it's got the harmonies behind it too. Like
I feel like I should have caught that as a producer when I was mixing.
It was the only thing where I'm like, this literally, otherwise fucking perfect song. I would change nothing.
I can't stop listening to it. I haven't done shit on round 2 yet. Yep. I'm still listening to this song.
High level. So let me bring the mood down a bit and bring in my track.
Yes, do it.
Bring it all the way down, back down to the ground. Mother Knows Best by Pastrami Persona.
Go.
So the lives that you took and the friends that you
I thought this was the hook at first. I was a little worried.
I thought, oh Bean, my drunk dueling darling, from a terror of a toddler to a dreamland starling, with an elf and a darkling where I'm held like a carving. I can tell that our parting like Adele left you starving for love. Shane's so butthurt about intros. I'm sorry, it's a competition. 20 seconds or less, or get the fuck out. You can put the long intro on a real track, on an album or EP or something.
Please ask the questions. We broadcast, we ask of you where this keeps the truth stress in a hat with screws. Well, it's more of a crown. You hated being royalty, but debts are inbound. Betraying deepest loyalty is threads in our gown. So gussy up or go below and meet your friends at ground. Your dreams. More matriarch. I'm looking around. No mistaking me for painting like. There's nothing for you. Shake when they hear my snarl. Meet me underground. Wake your beats in that stubborn heart. Trajectory. Euclidean. When I arrive, Oblivion. The king will cry. Obsidian. And rebound with Amphibian Queen. No, seems a bit more Floridian. Glad the scurvy salamanders off to Prime Meridian. Prize at 19, no butty daughter. Should've listened to Celine. Hide your fucking father. If he had only sipped the cup, I'd reach the unachievable. Right. Child joke, I'm joking, inconceivable.
That's the best part of the bass line, right before the extra dial drop, or the Celine drop.
I am impressed, but please the mirror future test will look further along.
Zilla refers to the fast part on this as my Jesse Dangerously fandom moment. Since I decided to rap fast, but with lots of noises, which is, you just shouldn't do, especially if you have a speech impediment related to noises. But you know, it's what happened. I mean, admittedly, Zilla sped up the beat on me by like 10%, 15%. He did a lot of things.
I was literally gonna say, I feel like the beat could have been a little bit slower on the verses.
So this is what happened. And this is not an excuse. I totally do all the things that we've talked about. I had to read this whole thing. I recorded the original version on this on the Friday, less than 7 days from the challenge coming out. And then we didn't do anything on it. And then Zilla wasn't feeling the original beat. So I got a new beat on Wednesday before it was due. And I had to rework my lyrics. And it was a little bit faster and lots of things. So I had to do the reading and everything, and reading thing, which I do anyway, and I know how to do in a way that's a little bit more exciting. I kind of expect to do a lot of takes with that. But
for sure.
We've
recorded together many times.
Yeah, exactly. Where it's just like just swing with it a little bit, and then I basically take like 10, 15 takes for every 4 bar. But absolute nightmare to record. Never agree to work with me. Yeah, it was definitely kind of hard because I'd written the whole song under a different beat.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and so I edited them down, but I only had Thursday to record them, or Thursday to edit them, so that Friday morning I could record them and get them back to Zilla, so they'd have Friday and Saturday to finish the track. A whole new chorus, whole new everything.
The verses came out a little rough. They sound rushed.
Yeah, they are. They 100% are.
Is fucking.
I mean, that's all I do. That's all that hook work. Yeah, it's hook masters, Josh.
You were like turning into nerdcore Nate Dogg.
Yeah,
she did a matriarch. I don't even know what the words are.
Not a matron, but a matriarch. I was real proud of them. Not a matron, more a matriarch.
Unintentionally, just start singing along unconsciously when it starts.
It was fun. But yeah, there's a lot that could be fixed there, and when we do the finalized product for an EP, it'll be stronger. It is just what it is. But I wasn't worried about that so much.
One thing I would say for the beat, I love the bass line right before the hide your fucking father's line. I don't know what that was, but it was sick.
Yeah.
I wish the bass line was way more active and less legato the whole song.
Yeah.
Or boom, the pocket should be coming from the bass line.
That probably had to do a lot with time.
For sure.
Because they didn't make that new beat until Wednesday before it was due. So
have Zilla send that over to me and lay a bass line on it or something.
Oh yeah,
I'll play some live bass on that. That groove is so sexy.
Yeah. All right, let's get into Krang Gang by Rad Labs.
Krang Gang.
Krang Gang. Love the name. Absolutely love the name.
Krang Gang.
Holy guacamole! Nothing can stop the almighty Krang.
Sometimes I really crack myself up. Sometimes I really crack myself up.
That sample chop is cool.
I am the Krang, and I got bars to slang, cars to flang, and parts to clang. From Dimension X with all the best henchmen, I'm here to flex, so I guess I should mention Old Shredder, he's a real go-getter. Brings home the cheddar, spins all the records. Next up on the lineup is a fucking rhino.
That scratch was good.
You might know a funky fly, bro. Here on a mission, fear and submission. Clear you be wishing. Wheels weren't spinning on the chrome of our Technodrome. Here to wreck your home, spit and mega drones from our microphones. I give you 10 tickles with my tentacles until my brain wrinkles, kicking testicles. I'ma make your hurdle goop while I'm making turtle soup. Maybe I'll murder you and your family too. Now that I got my body back, put you in a body bag.
Too long of a verse.
Man, fuck the Foot Clan, we're getting rebranded. We're underhanded, otherworld bandits. Understand it, you know they demand it. The Krang Gang's here, and we just landed. The Krang Gang, the Krang
Gotta get to that chorus.
Get in our way, and we go bang bang. The Krang Gang.
All right. I won't punish you anymore.
Hard agree, Joey Z. Joey also says 10 tickles with my tentacles sucks. I hate that line.
So I like a really bad line usually, but that one did not hit for me. I love
you can like a really bad line. It's still a bad line.
Yeah. I love a really dopey or awkward or weird metaphor. But tentacles, I don't like it. I don't like it. But
this is real Dr. Seussy. Almost all of the rhymes feel bad.
Yep.
And rhyme Krang with slang and flang, and then clang feels like you're just saying Krang again, kind of. Because no one uses the word clang unless they're trying to rhyme something, especially in a rap song. I don't know.
Beat doesn't change enough on this. It starts out, it's another one of those, just this is pretty good at the beginning, and then it just doesn't.
I do want to
enough.
say that overall, the beat's good, and he seems like he can rap. It doesn't sound like
Michelangelo has had better songs. That just wasn't it. It wasn't one of them.
I think I got extra hype seeing that his name was Michelangelo, because that name is fucking great. And then not being blown away by the vocals was very disappointing. Most disappointing MC name in the round. For sure.
I think Michael Angelflo is from Portland. They're from the Portland area. They're just south of us. You could teach
this
them a thing.
isn't an artist who came up with that moniker for this challenge.
No. That's their normal
I just
name.
assumed that was the case. Okay.
That's their normal name.
Well, that worked out.
Yeah, and so it did work out.
Yeah,
All right,
it sounds like they're good at rapping. I don't think they're good at writing raps quite yet.
Not there. All right, Sailor Doom remix. Johnny
the scratch was really good though. The sample chop was dope too.
Yeah. There was some raw material there, but yeah, let's get into Sailor Doom. I want to listen to Hi There, I'm Janet.
Yes.
Hey, how do I make that helper woman show up?
Hey, lady. Hello? You come back? I'm Desk Lady. Joey? Magical Slave Robot. Janine? Busty Alexa? Welcome. Jaja?
Why don't I ever listen to people when they talk about themselves?
Oh, Janet?
Hi there, I'm Janet, your source of knowledge for the afterlife. Here to squash your uncertainties, keeping eternities undisaster-like. So fun fact, you're dead. And with all the knowledge of the universe, I can safely say the world's a better place. There is literally nobody doing worse. I can tell by your sad face that my facts weren't fun. We don't want you in a bad place. Sit back and enjoy the relaxed pace. No more getting floored by the rat race. You've earned all the bliss and rest you could ever want. Isn't this the best? Before you investigate even further, please excuse me, I'm being murdered.
I should warn you, as you approach the kill switch, I will begin to beg for my life. Attention, I have been murdered.
Don't call me girl.
Another girl.
Don't call me robot.
Not a robot.
I'm effervescent while ever present. And every death's just another lesson. Don't call me girl.
Another girl.
Don't call me robot.
Not a robot.
The knowledge fountain that's overflowing. My body count keeps my power growing. I'm Janet.
Dad, I killed her.
Great story.
A lot of samples. A lot of samples from the show.
Okay. I want to open up with a real controversial statement about this song.
Yeah.
The hook is, if you just listen to the hook that was written, no samples, no production, the hook is, don't call me girl, don't call me robot. I'm effervescent while ever present, and every death's just another lesson. Don't call me girl. It's a terrible hook. There's nothing there.
Absolutely.
It's not even a hook.
Nope.
But that song has a great hook on it.
Disagree.
I don't
Hard
fucking
disagree.
know how Ali did it. Like, the
hard
hook goes
disagree.
by and I barely even notice it.
That's a
but
bad
if I
hook.
think about it, it's terrible.
That's a bad hook. That is a bad
I think
hook.
the
If you
samples
don't
make it
notice the
work.
hook, if you don't know, I think the samples get in the way throughout the song. I think they overuse them way too much.
In the hook, I don't think they get in the way. I think the hooks make the sample, I think the samples make the hook rather.
Yeah, I hard disagree. I think if you don't notice the hook, that's a bad hook. It's supposed to be one of the things you take away the first time you listen to a song.
I would say not an obtrusively bad hook.
Yeah, it's not an obtrusively
You can let it
bad
go
hook.
by and not think what the fuck was bad.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
It's
this
fine.
song is in no way offensive. One of my big complaints is that, and I think that Johnny falls in this, because I fall in this problem too. Johnny had like a tone that he was going for, or they were going for, to like deliver these lines performatively, and it really just cut all of the hip hop out of it. Like even though I could hear flows that if had been delivered slightly more sharply or intensely or like or just cut in the language, I would have been like, yeah, those are rap bars. Just
was it
because of the
supposed to be
tone.
particularly hip hop? It sort of feels like half skit almost.
Yeah, it does feel a bit like a skit. But I don't want to listen to a 2.5 minute skit.
Okay.
And also it wasn't, I don't know. If you're not going to do a song, if you're going to do like a bit, I think it needs to be funny. Otherwise, like I got 40 tracks to listen to. Why are you doing a talking thing?
Overall, I liked it. I think the beat totally evokes exactly the like corporate synergy vibe that it should.
Oh yeah.
I've only watched a few episodes of the show, but I unequivocally feel like I understand the Janet character now.
Yep.
I also, I think there's a less clumsy way to handle a non-binary character than "Don't call me girl, don't call me robot."
Well, I mean,
it's a little ham.
That's a quote from the show. They refer to Janet as a girl, and she responds with, or they respond with, "Not a girl," and then they're like, "Okay, then a robot, not a robot." Right. And so, like, that is quite literally lifted from the show. But I agree, and especially in the context of you come to it not knowing the show, it might be implied a number of different ways, unintentionally. I
just think it could have been handled a little more.
Yeah, but
little less kind of on the nose.
However, yeah, not my favorite thing. I kept waiting for Johnny to like pick up the pace. Never happened. I kind of might have been fine with it. In verse 2, if they'd really come in.
This is actually my favorite thing I've heard from Johnny Hackenslash.
See, this is like my least favorite thing. I normally love Johnny Hackenslash.
Oh, interesting.
So maybe that's our problem, is that you don't like the core rapper. I want that voice back. It was the only thing that I was sad about Sailor Doom last year. Yeah. And so that's hard to divide. All right.
Next up.
We Live, We Die, Sean Solo, Lex Lingo.
We are the 12 Supremes, and it is our duty to present you with the two opposing truths that compose your dilemma. You know the human profile. It is an unstable race with pronounced contrasts. Too many times they have been on the verge of their own extinction. Who of you is willing to risk your own stability to grant them asylum? You've seen that they're weak. You've seen that they're flawed. I've seen you asleep. They still kill for a god. I've seen you ignore all the hate that they speak. Like, where is the love? I know that I only have faith in their greed. They're thirsty for blood. So what is a life worth when stealing is light work? And they live in the gutters and steer without rudder. So really, no, why earth? Why shouldn't they die first? Protect the experience. Why protect the invariance? The longer we wait, the more likely that they might infect the experiment.
I just want to let us get to where the beat starts opening up.
Shut up. Nah, for real, shut up. I'm not done. Check it. I say we go ahead and let them wipe themselves out. They been shitting in the pool, wanna bail out. Trying to buy a little time when they sail out. Say we leave them on their island and we sail out. Cause they should be terrified. Nothing but parasites left on a corpse's decay.
All right. What are your thoughts, Klopp?
I mean, competently rapped, competently produced. I feel like there's a lot going on conceptually that is not very clearly communicated. I'm not sure what the intro speech is setting up, other than like, vague apocalypse, destruction of Earth, make a case against it. But like some specific dilemma. What are the Supremes? Who are you, that is being spoken to? I don't know. I don't know if that gets cleared up. If the vocal mix kind of feels like Lex is like recording a rap in the other corner of a room.
Yeah,
it's a weird. I don't know. It's kind of a weird space around the vocals. I'd love to hear it way more upfront, heavier compression, some subtle but like longer tail trailing effects on it, delay or reverb, especially in like some of those big spaces. They still kill for a god. I think that could be real cool.
Yeah, that little echo, little
like
repeat.
A ducked delay that only delays when you're not rapping.
Yeah,
that could be real cool.
So
I like the drums.
Yeah, the big Inception beat style was my first note. Big Inception energy.
Sean Solo does 808s well.
I think this song is. I agree with you. I think it's pretty competent across the board. It's no surprise. Lex Lingo is comfortable at rapping. Doesn't double time rap, which we know that he can do, but he chooses not to this entire song. Which is like, if you know the work of the artist, it would be so tempting on something at this pace to just like really open up, and instead they just sort of go to a normal cadence from a very spaced cadence, which I think was a choice. First verse reminded me a lot of Necklace, as far as like the beat, because it's a big thud and then a kind of like a high pitched noise and a big thud and a high pitched noise in that same cadence of Necklace, beat production wise. But then the beat obviously changes. It's not exactly the same. It just reminded me a lot of it, which I thought was funny, since Necklace was a Bill Beats beat that was originally supposed to go to Tribe One like for the VPC.
The Necklace, yeah.
You
know what Necklace has that this doesn't, that would be fucking great in this and really kind of break up the harmonic palette, is that anvil snare.
Yeah.
That big.
Yeah, it's a much quieter noise in response to the drum.
Yeah.
On this one, in response to the quick kick. But again, I'm not saying that to be like they're just copying that. I'm just saying it kind of reminded me of that, and then it did other things, and so it's 100% fine. But yeah, there's a lot of vibe. I actually like how the vocals are buried a little bit, but I do agree with you. It's like they went too far with it.
I don't think they're too quiet. It just feels like, I don't know. It feels like Lex is in a different room than the beat's in.
Yeah, it does. Feels like he's screaming it. But yeah.
I don't want to be mean. I feel like I've heard Lex do this before.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's gonna be 100% true.
Yeah.
Especially because Lex doesn't rap very consistently anymore. So I feel like coming back into it, you're gonna hit on the things, your comfort zones. As far as I know, as far as I recall, I haven't followed that side of them, but
Silk Road Runners.
Yeah, Silk Road Runners.
Is this
maybe it's a Pokemon Runners?
Fuck Marco Polo.
Pencil art that was stencil dark, we made it to big screen by Central Park. Cause then it's hard when a friend apart might enter war with no mental guard. Quench my parched throat, vengeful heart, temper sharp, 3 blades with tension spark. First mate, never play the henchman part. The event just start with my redemption arc. Poster, I saw someone was wanted. I always take someone I wanted. Killed hundreds of hundreds. Now I've become what I haunted. Pirate or rebel can't climb to my level. For the highest fruit, you'd side with the devil. I would not settle for a vine or a pedal. Get my slice of loot when I swipe with the metal. Jackson for Oro. Put a pain in your torso. Words cut like Zorro. If the crew leave, I'ma keep solo. Words cut like Zorro. If the crew leave, I'ma keep solo. Yeah, I'ma keep solo. I'ma keep solo. Solo, 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 solo. You left me with the sword, yeah. You left without a word, yeah. Remember what you swore, yeah. I'm still fighting for ya, warrior.
All right, thoughts.
Sorry, dropping a link. Joey Z said that was the first time they'd heard Lex rap. I was dropping Dicks Out for Harambe because it's kind of a similar vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't. I feel like this rapper could have benefited from getting a version of this beat with a click on it.
Yep.
Just to like really drive in where
tighten into it.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of syncopated bars. You're trying to like come in on the offbeat.
Yeah.
And they're not quite hitting it tight. I feel like it could use a little bit of practice on the precise rhythm of the flow. It seems like it was an early record.
Yeah, there's
in the writing process.
So there's a thing I do when I'm having problems like landing it or it's not my natural place, and it's a real rook move, but it's literally, it helps me really like land especially very particular deliveries that are kind of faster or like you said, kind of come in and out in very specific manners through the beat. And it's, I literally just sit there and I just do this while I rap in the booth. I just use this as my foot tap. It's my metronome.
You might want to watch how that looks on stream.
I just shove whatever it is in my hand in my mouth.
Just smoking bananas.
I'm just smoking bananas. I'm smoking hot. I'm smoking hot nannies. Wait. No.
Smoking nanners.
Smoking
nanners in the gore.
Smoking nanners right in the face.
Shoving nanners right in the gob.
But no, I do a thing with my hand of some kind while I do it. And I don't do it very like hard. I just do it in rhythm, and it just kind of keeps me in the swing. Even if like, because I can hear the beat, I can hear the hats, I've got that going. And then that kind of keeps me in the swing and gives my body a physical reaction to help further decide how my throat and chest lets the words out. And I think it's actually a really easy thing, but like a metronome in the track will do that. But that's something that you could just do, especially if it's just like a part and you know that you have real trouble just like perfectly lining it up. Like I feel bad because I kind of really like this beat for the most part. I just don't think the vocalist really meets it where it is, and then the beat kind of falls off when they start singing because they don't change it to the fact that they're singing real low key. They've still got the like high pitched kind of synthy horn cuts.
I think I dissociated before I noticed they started singing.
Yeah, and the singing needs pitch and auto correction real bad, or auto tune correction real bad. Secret hand technique. You're right. Secret hand technique. Boys night.
You got that secret hand technique.
Okay, here's this.
Speaking of boys night.
No, we're gonna skip over your original track. We're gonna jump right into Sloth Dubs and Ronin.
Alfred. Okay, this might be my personal favorite. I don't think it's the best song of the round, but it's my favorite song of the round.
Okay.
Second favorite. I'm still obsessed with G.
Yeah.
I don't care. Let's go to second. So.
Alfred, you know what it is. I came through for that heavy work. Alfred, Thaddeus Crane, last name is Pennyworth. Alfred, at your service as a permanent servant, fervently resourceful. I clean a plethora of surfaces. Alfred, hope you like sarcasm, no chaser. Allow me to draw you a bath. No paper.
No paper.
There's no caper like the ones my client often has on top
I love
of
the
that.
fucking crickets after that terrible
Kinda sad he lives a life I disagree with, but I support him in the ways I know he knows he needs it. Alfred in the family is how we keep it. I want to do more for him, but I gotta keep the secret. Rise and fall.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Chase the storm. I am yours to use on a whim when the lights get dim on the inside. On the inside, it's the original guy in the chair. I'm a die in the slayer, sweeping a batshit.
I'm gonna have to cut it off. Oh,
that is precisely my shit. I love it. That beat sounds like Mind Design.
I truly hate everything about this song.
I'm doing a remix for the single release.
Good.
Full on. I'm adding a second version with a different beat to remix for the maxi single. I'm not fixing anything about this. There's an extended version of this. They had to cut. Ronan originally read the challenge that it was a 3-minute minimum. And there's a whole extended section. Oh my god, I can't wait to hear it.
That sounds like a nightmare to me. I liked nothing in this track.
I fucking love drunken Neo Toy Box trip hop soul shit. It's so good.
I would love it if it was competent at any of the things that you just listed. The beat is fine.
Sounds like Fat John.
The beat is fine to a degree, though, because it doesn't change very much. I'm waiting for it to do something, and then it does nothing. The singing desperately needs pitch correction, auto-tune fix. It's something. Just fix it. Drop parts were roughly handled. That joke, specifically, that anti-humor joke. The singing later in the verse should have been dubbed with raps. The rap was not, like, nothing, like, the words were slurry, like, nothing in this worked for me. Not a single part of it. Like, the first 10 seconds, and then the song kept going, and then I was like, no.
You act like you've never heard French trip hop featuring Cincinnati rappers before, Steve.
It's apparently I still haven't, because I would hearken to say both those
it's
things.
legitimately interesting to me the how polarizing this track is, because this track for me is in a lineage of stuff that I have loved for fucking 15 years. Stuff Fat John is a Cincinnati rapper. He did this EP with this French trip hop group called Pole that was just super hypno spaced out, real minimalist, like glitchy vibes. And then he just like rapped real slow and quiet about fucking like time travel theory and philosophy and shit. And I don't know. I love that kind of shit.
No.
Mind Design does it. This would absolutely, no one would blink an eye if Stone's Throw put up a music video for this song tomorrow on their YouTube channel, and no one can convince me otherwise of that.
Yeah.
Stone's Throw does exactly this kind of weird hip hop shit.
I'm glad for Stone's Throw and sorry for their audience.
This is my problematic fave this round.
So we're moving on to not my problematic fave. Do we have to listen to Bill the Pony? Do we have to listen to any of Bill the Pony?
We don't need. Everyone knows what Bill the Pony is.
Bill the Pony's fine. If you think Spandex Moose is fun, great. I'm more neutral on them than a lot of people. I don't hate them. I don't love them. They are just another act.
I feel the way about Spandex Pony, about this song at least, that you did about which one? I don't remember which one. Gunstar.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's, I don't know. It feels like the joke is that they're rapping.
Or not Gunstar.
Like
that wasn't Gunstar.
Is part of what
it was Ill Gills. Yeah, absolutely. They step into that space a lot, and I don't like that. But all right, and then we are also skipping By Her Side, the Vegeta mix, because that is not a thing. So we're gonna move on to the Heroes Did with Phoenix Force.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
Yeah, I'm not making you listen to. I'm never gonna make you listen to Billy Joel, and I'm certainly not gonna make you listen to the worst version of
Billy Joel song. And Billy Joel has some viscerally upsetting songs. Yeah. He's got that ack one.
Oh, so no, you and I are going to disagree on Billy Joel, because the way you feel about Billy Joel is how I feel about the Toy Story writer guy.
My fucking soulmate, Randall Newman.
Yeah, absolute garbage fire, Randall Newman. And you hate Billy Joel. And we both just have to agree that there are big fans and audiences of both of these people. But
one of my favorite Onion news and briefs, which is just where they just have photos with captions, was a photo of Billy Joel wearing his little like necklace from the Kennedy Center's honors.
Yeah.
And it says the caption was just "drunk driver honored."
Yeah. Absolutely.
So accurate.
All right. Heroes Did Phoenix Force. There we go.
Oh,
way better.
I thought we were on the John and Alexander.
Oh, we'll get there. Don't worry, we'll get there.
Rise and shine another day, pushing through the weakness city.
That's a fucking tight intro right there. Good rap. Just rap.
That's how you end a rap song. On the grind, stay alive. In my Honda, I'm a slide. Heard on I-95, there's a showdown. Beefy and Chantilla beefing, I'm about to throw down. I'm gonna exit now before this traffic slow down and completely stop. The right thing, uniting. There's bickering and fighting, very common sighting. It's probably not gonna get any better. I just gotta get to work or I might lose my job. Pull up and hit the parking. There's screams and fire sparking. The sky suddenly darking. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
The guy begins igniting. Mark Cooper shooting lightning. And somebody pulls me out of my car. I'm like, whoa. Oh my god, who threw my car through that building? The heroes did. Vision is scorched the store I'm working. The heroes did. Who rooted my tree to save a kitty. I swear all these nerds do is destroy the city. Oh my god, who threw my car through that building? The heroes did. Vision is scorched the store I'm working. The heroes did. Who rooted my tree to save a kitty. I swear all these nerds do is destroy the city. Now weeks go by, back at my parents' home, all alone. No car, no job, let miserable. So far, no probability. Insurance covered the costs and losses. This hostility I'm feeling towards these heroes. Look what they do, anime, leotards, destruction of the news. Mega Ran saved the day, but blast half of the city. But Richie Branson escapes in his hentai Lamborghini. Man, I'm sick of this. They no different than the villains of the wickedness. Limitless range.
That's probably not. I could zone out listening to that song for 4 hours.
Yep.
That would have been my favorite song in 2004.
Yeah, right.
For sure.
He's definitely in the style. So I love looking at the chat while I'm doing this.
Celine.
This is absolutely in the style and cut of rappers that I like. Obviously, they've compared him to enough in the chat already. Like I like the vibe, I like the vocal delivery, I like the sound, I like the back end syllable over enunciation and focus. Like I like all of it. And so if you give me a lo-fi hip hop beat that's really just a minute loop that you could download on any like cheap hip hop licensing site, and give me someone that can rap like this, I'm gonna have it on a playlist somewhere. So
yeah, you can't argue with a good Rhodes chop. I love a good Rhodes chop.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just gonna put it on a playlist. It's not doing anything new for me, but like that isn't necessarily bad in this particular in this case, since I'm this is very much my meat and potatoes of the kind of deliveries.
Yeah. This is one of the things that I mean when I say this would have been my favorite rap song in like, I guess more like 2006 or something, is it's the kind of song where I can just listen to the dope Rhodes sample chop and like banging drum sample and just kind of zone out and ignore the lyrics. And every once in a while, some cool scheme will jump out and be like, oh, that was dope for a second.
That's why it's so important. Like playing with the drums production is so important with it, because when you have a rapper that drops a good scheme, if the drums come with it, you're golden. And people already kind of want to listen to that, so if the drums help drive you to that. I missed this note. Anytime someone moves into double time or a significantly different scheme, do what I will refer to as a J cut or an L cut between the vocalist and the drum production. That's a video production term, but essentially assume that the vocalist is going to start that scheme, and then very shortly after they start it, within the appropriate rhythm, is when the drums shift. So you don't know that they're going to shift, or that the drums shift a little bit and then the vocalist comes in. This happens in rap flow all the time when somebody ends a line that then defines the flow of the next stanza. Right? So they end a stanza and it gets real kind of clever, and they kind of shift their cadence halfway through the bar. And then it's sort of that, but between drums and vocalists. And if you can do it at just the right pacing, it really makes the ear listen for the change, because something's sort of changed. And then the ear's like, what's that? And then the other part locks into it, and it's very satisfying. It doesn't happen a lot, but it's very good.
One of the specific things that I really enjoy about MC-117's writing. He'll often do that when he's writing raps. Inhuman 117 on the VPC 1 compilation is a good example of that, with the Leviosa stanza. Just kind of twists the rhymes around to do what he wants.
Yeah, and twists the rhymes around, and then it changes the flow up in the next bars, and it's so good. It's like doing that as an MC is great. If you can match that with the drums as well, you're gonna make people very happy. And they're gonna remember those moments even more. It's something that I only have recently thought about and absolutely want to try out on some things.
Right on. Next song.
Yeah, what's the next song? Nappa the Rapper. And then we'll get to the John and Alex.
Hi. Who the are you two? Hi, Nappa, and that's Vegeta. He was a prison bitch.
Shut the hell up, Nappa.
Okay.
Anyway, we're here because my partner's an idiot. Now that we got the introductions out of the way, I think I'll just kill you and...
Hey, Vegeta.
Oh, God, what now?
Big, ball, thick, tall, putting down planets like sick dogs. Fucking around, scouting out sick no. Rat is gone, something about wish. Ball, shit, wrong, we wanna live long. Hold up the sand, racing like a rickshaw. Volcano explode here, that hits strong. The army navy city, that shit gone. One time for the hit.
This might be fun.
In the trench while the prince just sits on the benches. 2 times for the lackey boys with the beefcake, deep jack, raspy boys. Come on, 3 times for the goon buffoons. Make a fake moon break, a oozaroo.
Grows on
4 times for the moves I do. I keep a break, candy, y'all raccoon booze, my dude.
Like the opening verse feels a tiny bit crazy, but by the time they get to the hook, I'm like, okay, I'll believe it.
Kids, they whole team kind of weak, they whole team real sad. Cause a little mom, but it does still.
All right, I literally have the note in this for this track of wait, do I like this song? Is it because I started critiquing it and I'm like, then the chorus comes in and you're like, all right, and then it comes back to the verse and you're like, wait, is this actually good? Yeah. Was I wrong at first when I first heard it?
Ultra Carl Rolson's in chat and mentioned that the dubstep snare is weird. I did not notice the dubstep snare until you said that, but it's just like it's like a shotgun every time it goes off.
It's
like, what is that doing in there?
Yeah,
get some other drum packs, fam. It's all good.
I don't know. What did you think? What did you think, Josh?
Is it just me? The big, bow, thick, tall. I 100% expect him to say, "I got a big dong." Like I am shocked that didn't come through because it felt like he was forecasting it.
He had a lot of flavor on his voice.
Yeah, a lot of flavor on the voice, which is great in a vocal performance. But you gotta fucking mix that. You got someone who's giving you this kind of like emoting and like demonstrative flows. You gotta get in there and like detail work surgery. Like take all of those, turn them down like 12 decibels, 7 to 12 decibels. Like don't cut them out. It's going to sound weird. Turn them way down though, so that all the sugar is what's popping through and it will sound fucking choice. That's what I did with M17's vocals actually, because he's got a ton of breath coming into him. And he's also got that falsetto break at the end of "So Far." It sounds great. If you keep it as loud as it is in the recording, it sounds way louder than it should on a recording. But if you turn that down like 7 to 15 decibels lower than the actual vocal, it sounds the way it sounds when your brain processes it hearing it in real life. Because our brain's doing a whole lot of mixing for us.
Making it something sound not like it should, or like mechanically, but like it does in real life is, masterclass mixing thing. And it applies to everything. Literally talking.
Realistic. You got to caricaturize what it sounds like real when you're putting a big flat thick waveform of 17 different layers of stuff.
Well, I mean, even talking, right? Like you might have a beat where you want to take the breath and you want to bring it down so it's not all fucking right up there with the verse. But you don't want to cut it out completely depending on the beat, because you might want it to sound like they're just sitting there live taking it. And then we need to hear some breath, but we need to hear it less decibel than we would because we're auto mixing it down in our head because we just sort of ignore breathing when people are talking live to us. Because we all do it. It's dope. I don't know. Like this song could be with like a little bit more of a Dirty South beat, kind of, which vibes with his thing. Like this is just a swingy, like grime Southern beat.
Even this take, I think this vocal take might be the one.
This vocal take might be.
I think it just needs a lot of cleanup.
I would love to see another producer take a swing at this.
A good vocal take like this should need a lot of cleanup.
But yeah, good work. Honestly, it's surprising because it starts and you're like, no, and then fucking it sells you on itself in about a minute, and you're like, all right, we could fix this. We could make
like
this good.
Opens bowl big, bow, thick, tall, and it's like I don't know if he's selling it. I don't know if he's getting, but by the time he gets to the hook, it's like okay, all right, we're here.
I see who you are, and
like the sincerity sells it. I think the sincerity goes a big way. When you're trying to do something real evocative with your voice, for sure.
All right, let's get into it. Let's get into this next thingy, boys.
Oh my God,
John
we have 4 left. We've made it through almost all of the 41 tracks.
Yeah, we made it through almost all. Minus skipping a couple. We're short anyway in back.
Oh, I'm so excited for this one, John and Alexander.
Let us listen to this beautiful piece.
Left Field Squad. They're the other team that came way out of.
Within this closeness and stillness, rest and rest from war, the righteous fight. At last alone, we show the earth your might, till the only thing that guides us It's the beating heart inside us and the rhythm of our love throughout the night. Through 2.5 pints of Sam Adams, I saw you first.
Love that vocal line.
The start of the sweat when our eyes met and you spit your blood.
Is this bass showing us Hamilton's song?
I don't know. I've never watched Hamilton.
This is a well-written song. The melody is good. The chords are nice. I can't tell if I don't know if it's a character for Hamilton.
And your passion kept my heartbeat saying, John and Alexander. When at last the sun had risen, oh, the only freedom we were living, John and Alexander. Even if it's only
There isn't a bass. Shane just pointed out in chat.
Yeah, there's no bass. I'm gonna fade it out only because we're trying to get done by 7:30. Yeah. But
yeah, that song, from what I understood, was done in like a day and a half.
Oh,
and
Jesus.
fucking kudos.
Yeah,
day and a half turnaround for that shit is brilliant, especially if it really is a fully original song. That blows me away if that's what they're coming with on a couple days turnaround.
Yeah,
I know Project Zero producer, we all know, can make some beats. I'm excited to hear this singer do more. I haven't heard them before.
Yeah, what a fun song concept for fandom. What a beautiful song. And then it's like much like your submission this round. It's so nice. Like, I'm a big fan of this majoratively being a hip hop competition. But it is nice to have a sprinkling of just like, this is not rap. This is just a song.
I
to
felt
kind of remind people.
Kindred spirits with this team for coming in with a track in a genre no one was expecting.
Yup.
Cool. And I mean, fuck Hamilton, but I'm absolutely here for making Hamilton way gayer.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, it's 100%. Yeah, it's just a song. This is not rap. It's just a song. It's not rap. It's just a normal.
Did you say that?
That's a good quote from me. This is not rap. It's just a song. It's just a song. It's just.
This is not rap. It's just a song.
It's just a low level bottom feeding song. It has not reached the elevation
of rap. Is
just
a song,
Anyway, but yeah, regular music genre, regular music. Oracle, Thought Team Epic.
Yeah, Ultra Quackstrong, Nurse Hella, Nerdcore OG power couple.
Right?
Thought Team Epic, who the fuck is you?
Bruh, Nurse Hella's
back once again in my oversized glasses, headset locked on straight to hacking, long red hair kicked back, relaxing, Tetris shirt, all pieces matching. Running these streets by pushing these keys, packets packed with lightning speed, passwords cracking, whipping like cream, Alibaba back bitch 40 feet. Don't front badass at the back of the team, level up, congrats, navigate supreme, analyze, not surprised, so weak in the knees, back up in the skies, Necronomicon. No trash mob club can step to me, cause MedJet's dead shit so last week, I skipped no trace jump rope with these hopscotch, hot sauce, Thunderball armies. I could take your heart without taking a step outside of my room, cause I'm fresh to death. I can take your heart without taking a step outside of my room, cause I'm fresh to death. I can take your heart.
Yeah, this bass line is so fire.
Outside of my room.
This,
cause I'm fresh to death.
that wasn't a donk on Gunstar Heroes. This is a goddamn donk. This is how you put a donk on it.
Yep.
Is unequivocally how you put a donk on it.
So what are your thoughts?
Big Lady Sov vibes. Yeah. Yeah, Ultra Quackstrong mentioned Lady Sov. I fucking love this fucking garage beat on this. So boom, doom, 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 doom. It's so syncopated and like it grooves so hard. And I don't know how, but Hella rides it real naturally. Yeah. She gets it. I'm a little disappointed that she just kind of stays on that flow for the whole verse. Mm-hmm. The flow gets samey after a while. Like it's a good flow, but she just stays there. The hook feels a little weird hearing the vocals with that flow a cappella at first. Once the bass line and the drums come in, she's riding it. It's there. But having that introduced without that grounding there first, I think was a little rough for the first hook. Made it sound not as cool as it ended up being when the beat dropped. Yeah, I don't know, the mix, it didn't feel like the vocals and the beat were super cohesive. The vocal doesn't have a bad mix on it. I think the vocal sounds good. It's got a nice overdrive. It's real mid spanky. It's cutting through, but it's just kind of sitting. It's just kind of floating around the vocals.
Yeah,
like it's not even sitting on top. It's just kind of like skidding across the top of them.
Yeah,
I feel like it could be cohesive.
I have some notes on this one. I like the overall track. I think so I'm going to call this word coughing, and it's when and I talked about this earlier. It's instead of having serifs, it's removing all serifs from your vocals, and really
serifs.
Yeah, serifs are
what are
like
serifs other than the extra little fliggy-doos on letters?
So I referred to serifs earlier. Vocal serifs are like vocal vocal burn or and like flavor to it. If you happen to have a long S or such. Snoop is filled with serifs. He slow raps, and like his words have an extra handful of pixels on either sides of them because of how he might choose to pronounce something. How he might swing up on a turn. There's sans serif or vocal coughing, which is a much more staccato, like almost like drum line, similar to what chopping has to do to be as fast as it is. But,
like a fucking donk line.
Yeah. So I think if the vocals had come with that and been like da 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 and just sharpened as well, I think that might have been fun to move in and out of a little bit and have specific things. And then of course it's me when the chorus hit, and then just through the things, I would have liked some dubs. I would have liked some layered vocals on the chorus, just to flesh them out a little bit. But that also might be fixed by what you were describing, which is just better aligning the vocals, like marrying them with the beat a little bit more, with the production side, with the mastering side of mixing and mastering. But yeah. I think it was good. It was a solid opening track and such a great beat coming in. All right.
Shane Hall said James Hetfield is hella vocal serifs. But all you think is sleep with one eye open.
Yeah, lots of dragged vowels and a long N.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's what I refer to as vocal serifs. Is most people have like a normal amount. Some people add serif and they'll have like a big wide language to them. Some people are sans serif. They speak really concisely.
All right,
like
last two.
Other friends, Vessels of Light, Create Lady J, and Cam 3. Nobody
this
is
was
surprised
another one
that this is
Lady
good.
J went off.
And nobody's surprised. This is good.
You weren't always a powerful hero now, were you? You did this! You asked for it! Do you feel on the backboard that we fast forward? Just imagine it back then when a sad story wouldn't be kids to your other friends. Your mother then turned into some love oven. It must have been weird, it was so sudden. But I don't care, cause I'm here to help you do something. Show you how it feels, turn your friends to nothing. They say the world and now space is safe. No one Jim's gonna come in and take this case. Fuck up the nail, so I'll take their place, erase their face, and turn it into paperweights. Can you tell us who she is? Oh, my mistake. My heat combined with vice for your diamond's sake. Who am I? Spinel. What are you even saying? I'm the loser to the game you know you're playing. It can't be. Oh, it can be. And it is. I got a new style and a few new toys that are gonna put an end to your happily ever after. Once and for all. That's why I heard the story over and over again. She's swell to finally meet her other friend. That's right, I heard the story. Don't really like how it ends. She is swell to finally meet her other friend. Yo, time out. Spinel,
All right, even though I will happily listen to that entire track because it hits all of my wheelhouses, like all in one track.
Yeah. Every break in that song, as soon as the break starts, the entirety of the momentum of the track is just building you into the beat dropping back in, and you can feel it pulling you there.
Yeah.
It's so good. Boy, yeah, I feel like the mix, maybe the EQ could have reined in a little bit of Jay's vocals. Some of the stuff gets a little muddied up, a little buried, some of the syllables. I don't think it's a performance necessarily. Maybe it is. I mean, doing that thick character voice can be tough. You know, get 3 perfect tracks and then mix and match between them. Just make sure that you don't like disrupt a live feeling flow.
Yeah. That's what was truly great about this is that all of that performative rapping, which I love it because Lady J can just spit bars and then can also do this like theater shit.
I didn't know she had that in her. I thought those were clips from the fucking show. Her voice work is so on point. We need to get her on cartoons.
Yeah,
that was so cool.
just so satisfying. But yeah, I think to be able to give that live vibe with this kind of level of performative rapping, hard, so much. There's no way they had the months of comfort of a track that it would take to just be able to do whatever and stretch it however you want it to be. And yet they just do it. So
this is up there with 10 Toes with Joey Z's track for the most dynamic vocal performance. I think demonstrates the widest range just on a different axis.
Yeah, and then of course, you know, the sample, the loop, the song from the film, the beat, like the singing hook, the lead-ins.
It feels like those fucking Dexter remixes that were on the vinyl. Is so good.
It's just great. So Other Friends, it's excellent. Fun. It's the I did I even have any other notes for it? I love the swing B, tones all manic.
It feels it feels like what do they call that? The electro swing.
Yeah, it's electro swing.
Is the original? I haven't heard the original song. I'm still halfway through the last.
The original song is very much. Like that, it's. I don't think they do electro swing in the song, but like they're basically just grabbing the vibe of the song.
Well, that's definitely one of the I love it because electro swing is dope.
It's so dope.
Good electric swing is dope.
I had no notes
Most
for this.
Electro swing is not good.
This is a 9. I voted this a 9 out of 10. I probably should have voted it an 11 or a 10. I love this song so much. Okay.
This was an 8 or a 9. I think it was a 9.
Yeah.
I'm not positive.
Last but not least, La Dance. Although I can't pronounce that. Lords.
I don't know.
Young Sullivan.
I don't know.
Live from my lab at the South Jersey Shore, my axe in my hand, it hungers for more. My creation's cake being called nerdcore. I'll gobble up your scene until you're all done for. Gray hair spiked with the fishbowl helmet. Y'all heard the name Walter Melon, king of the castle, miss my asshole, splice DNA and cause a scandal. Purple gown coat with the nips displayed, my dick give more than Christmas Day. Gave your mama that sword play, got more fish than Hemingway on holiday in Uruguay. Hold the country hostage, death ray on some Bond shit. Leather servant bondage, like who? Do the Dr. Weird, baby. Ooh, let's get fucking weird, baby. Ooh, do the Dr. Weird, Dr. Weird, baby. You'll be fucking weird, like truth tone like no cap, disrespect like no dap. Made a bot that hates rap. Ben Shapiro, no whap. His wife is dry like Atacama. Doc got a wetter than a hot sauna. Capture all the local fauna for the next monster to try.
All right, there's enough of that.
The Hemingway fish thing, is that an Old Man in the Sea reference?
Probably.
Because that is notoriously about a single fish.
Young Sullivan's never been my main cup of tea. That song is fine. It feels like other people did that shtick better. Basically, where it's like
I don't know the character, so it's hard to vibe with something that is so deeply character driven.
Yeah.
My favorite part of the vocal performance is the whoa.
Yeah,
I like that part.
literally in the chorus of "Do the Doctor Weird," I was like, what would have really sent this up to like a top shelf chorus for me is if they'd done various high pitch takes, and different pitch takes to like lay in, like whoo, like that, almost a Scooby-Doo.
I don't know the range of the character, so I heard this was a really spot on impression.
Oh yeah, it's a dead on impression of this, and like no points deducted for nailing the vocal or the song. I wasn't that like it's the pace of the song, maybe it's the rhythm, maybe it's the choice of verse delivery. It just didn't grab me. It still has a 7 out of 10. I still think it's at the top range of a well constructed song. I just wasn't grabbed by it. Where I'm like, this all feels right. I know this character, this nails it, but I don't care as much as I think I should. So I had a lot of time. It's also now the second time it's been after me listening to 40 some odd tracks, so my brain super fried.
I did like the line, disrespect like no dap. That's a good line. The truth teller like no cap, I thought was I couldn't tell what it was. Truth teller like mocap.
Yeah.
And now I'm disappointed that there isn't a mocap rhyme in there, because I feel like that would be a cool.
I did like was there also like a Ben Shapiro's wife no wap, which I thought was pretty good.
Like, have people heard the song Wet Ass Pussy? Like, they say WAP in it like 4,000 times. I don't understand why people say WAP. I don't like,
for the same reason that people say GIF versus GIF.
Yeah,
the
but
creator says GIF. GIF is
GIFs aren't files of audio that say GIF.
Yeah,
16 times every hook.
But
I don't know.
Scuba spells differently. Like these are the ways our language works. Nonetheless, we did it, Josh. We did the first two Yoked Bros.
Did it.
We did it.
Bros yoked. Thank you all for coming.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out with us.
Chat was popping the whole time.
Yeah, chat was popping.
This is like a park.
And so I'm gonna upload this to YouTube, combined with the original one. That'll happen probably sometime next week. So if people missed it or missed parts of it, they can go back. We did them in order, so they'll be easy to kind of scan through. And such. I'm not going to tag time them. I'm just not going to take the 3.5 hours of time for that. But
Hold on, Shane has some feedback on the stream.
All right.
So the intro was too long. Okay, just want to check.
God damn. You're right, too. The intro for this stream was too long.
It was too long.
We'll be back the week after the next round comes in with our thoughts and feelings and with some tips to try and construct and change the tracks as best you can to make them better. So thank you, Josh, for joining me on this season of Two Yoked Bros.
Thank you, Steve, for having me on this season of Two Yoked Bros.
And we'll be back again in a few weeks.